Karts onto the racetrack. The B pre-final getting set to go green here from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the KA Stars. Final chance for the entire field on the circuit now to get into those last 10 spots to go to the main event, Caleb.
Yeah, we caught up with a good number of those drivers earlier on today. Braden Zerv's getting set to lead this field to the green flag. Connor Coursey also buried in the mix. Ian Quinn, one of the notables in this field as well. Keep an eye on him. Maggie Webster with McAleer Racing this weekend up from the northeast. She's getting set to go green from third with a couple more. Looks like potentially Samer Vrutsky as well buried in this field. And the names go on and on and on. But only 10 are going to have the privilege to race their way into the main event later on today. It's time to go racing. The B pre-final in KA Stars is underway.
And they'll make their way through turns 1 and 2. Overall, a good start for Braden Zervs as he takes the lead right off the rip here. 10 drivers will transfer. We've got them all fighting as they roll down the back straightaway for the very first time.
And already a couple of drivers defending, going to the bottom of the racetrack, and more of them. There's a look, left-hand side of your screen. Everybody in the red is not going to make it through. Ian Quinn looking to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Through on Connor Coursey, he's clear, and that's just about the transfer zone. Coursey's in the 918, Zakusilo's in the MPG Motorsports machine. One driver off the racetrack, and that is Zakusilo indeed, as Quinn goes to the bottom looking to make moves. So now it's Zakusilo's on the cutoff, outside looking in, and Jelly's on the inside.
And they are still so close right around the cutoff zone right here as they roll through turns 6 and 7 onto the back straightaway. Single file here. Crazy to find ourselves with some of the names that are around this bubble zone. Connor Coursey, who has hovered to the top 10. Of course, Ian Quinn, who qualified on Friday, top 3 in his group. He'll make the pass on Coursey to put himself one spot closer back to the good. So it resets the two of them as the pylon will stay the same for that position. But they are battling right behind them. That was a good attempt there by Donato. It didn't work. And as they roll down into turn number 1, the battling continues here. In about 4 cars all in a scrum right together.
Yeah, and only just under 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. We follow along with Ian Quinn. This is 7th. Coursey's in at 8th. And you go back 2 more cars. And it's Zakusilo who's in 9th. Goodman's in the inside, just in 10th. But Quinn looking to make moves. And he's all out of shape here. This is the battle right here, just around the cutoff. That's Deegan Coursey going wide. The 918 was in the show in 8th. Now out of it, slowing way down out of turn number 10 there, Xander.
Jace Webb was also slowing out of it. He'll drop a number of spots as the battling is all over the place here through turns 1 and 2. Desperate times, desperate measures here in the KA Stars B pre-final. And they'll roll back over to turn 5 once again now. These 3, the 947 machine of Riker Ekholm, Alex Zakusilo, Miles Goodman, they are okay. The battle behind them is for the transfer. That is the 984 with a little contact with the Magic Kart machine. Quentin and Jelly makes a forceful move to get into that final provisional transfer spot. Again, you can see on the big screen and here as well, and we've got one in front of them that's got a problem. The 957 just ahead in the 9th position. That is none other than Miles Goodman. Look at the right rear bumper. The bolt has broken. Goodman has no idea. He's going to send it to the inside. Miles Goodman, door to door, but that will take him out of the fight here when he gets into the scales because that bumper has fully become dislodged. You'll see it right here, and it is fully dropped. Well, maybe it's not dropped all the way out of the frame rail. If it's just dragging, that's okay. If it's fully disconnected, that'll be different. He'll fight regardless. Oh no! Up and over the side of Alex Zakusilo. 8th and 9th, and a dust cloud at the end of the back straightaway. 2 more spots gone. Both of them were inside the transfer zone, Caleb.
Both of them were in, fighting for 9th. And again, that one just coming undone here. Zakusilo's out, Goodman's out. Who's in? And I think it might be Deegan again. No, it's Grayson Knoll. Grayson Knoll back in 10th. is the first one that is in the show, and that's the Brandon Jarscrack Racing LN Kart. That's its third in line at the moment. There's another Magic looking to work his way up. And again, another look at that incident. Goodman on the inside, side by side, climbs up on the side of Sakusilo, and both of them just lodged together out of this pre-final early.
Yeah, just going for the move. You could see that the elbow's already out earlier in the lap, and tire-to-tire contact sends one of them up and onto the side of the other. Battling continuing here. Grayson Knoll trying to hang on to that final spot in the show along with Deegan. Jacob Petticourt is there. Look who is back there again. Connor Corsi still has new life. Here, still has life left. A resurgence for the blue and yellow comp card in the fourth in the train. Behind him as well, one of the Orsolone entries, Oscar As Antonsen. Back in 14th. Now they are outside the bubble right now, but they are getting closer, ever closer. Because they're 2x2 in front of them, fighting for the last spot in. Petticourt, Deegan, Corsi to the high side. Oh, and around goes Deegan. The 995 sitting backwards at the exit of 11.
And I'm not sure if that's going to promote Donato either there, Xander. He was just on the outside, but we'll look at it. Gonzalez is now up there. He was down in 15th.
I mean, there has been so much contact. You have to think that even the top 10 we're going to see across the line will change quite a bit of who makes it into the show. How about the Prodigy machine, Jace Webb? He was almost fully stalled out with the engine earlier in the race. He's now back in frame here as we're continuing to follow along with the bubble fight. Meanwhile, Sam Avrutsky is driving far and away out in front, trying to punch his ticket comfortably into the big dance later on today for KA Stars.
Big gap ahead, like you mentioned there, for Sam Avrutsky. They're crossing the line already. Avrutsky's headed into the chicane and down the hill, but they're still battling here. This is the 901, just on the outside. Joseph Nastasi as well as Hunter McCown there, who's sitting 15th. And again, two of the Orsolone machines, Ethan Gonzalez, Oscar Antonsen, Jace Webb, looking to chase down Connor Corsi and Petticourt. Well, I think they have a good bit of separation in between themselves as well. They're just about a second away from each other. As now Gonzalez leads this pack, trying to get them up there with Webb in second.
Yeah, Grayson Knoll has gotten away a bit from Jacob Petticourt. Here is Connor Corsi on the move, trying to close that gap. This is the fight for the final spot to get in. 25 seconds plus 2 laps on top of it. So 3 to go at a minimum right now. Corsi, one more position, will get him back into the transfer window, back into the show to start 40th in the main. Here he goes, turn 6, he'll get it done.
Petticourt's still there though, turn number 8. We've seen a lot of drivers try moves. We talked about the headwind as well here in turn number 8. So now it's Connor Corsi, the 918. He's in, a little wide there out of 8. And Petticourt outside looking in to the inside, side by side, wheel to wheel, door to door. Petticourt's back into the show. Corsi's off the racetrack in 11th.
And big move now with that pass in turn 14. Decisively, 3 to go here, 2 to go. 2 laps remaining in the KA Stars B pre-final. If official timing and scoring is right, Corsi forces his way back past.
Elbows out racing. You see him shaking his head. Here comes Ethan Gonzalez, Webb, Antonsen, all of them still within a shot to make it into the main event here. But if you're Petticourt, you're giving it all you got for a lap and a half. They work their way up to turn number 10, just trying with everything that he's got to keep up with the 918. And again, just elbows out racing there out of Corsi into the chicane, was able to get himself clear, able to get himself ahead and into the show in 10th. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough.
This is indeed the white flag. This will be it. White flag. There we go. His timing updates here. So 1 to go. 1 lap less than we thought. Corsi safe. Petticourt fading back. And beyond him, he's going to have company. Ethan Gonzalez was more than a second faster than him last time by, along with his Orsolone teammate of Antonsen. Jace Webb trying to race his way back in. Meanwhile, coming to the checkered flag now here out of the final turn, Sam Avrutsky will head to the line. He'll punch his ticket to the big dance. So will Ryan Stanton, Cash Savage. And what an up and down run for Quentin Angeli, who safely gets in 8th. Grayson Knoll in 9th. And Connor Corsi will be the final one in by our provisional count. Unbelievable how many moments there were in this race, Caleb.
You gotta take a deep breath after it. Goodness gracious, a lot of moves, a lot of deciding factors for 10th on back for that cutoff. And this is all still provisional.
Yeah, I can't say we expected anything less here from the K Stars field as the final few cross the line, and we take a look at the official stack up, or unofficial stack up, if you will. Sam Avrutsky wins the B pre-final. He'll start 31st in the main event later today. Ryan Stanton, Cash Savage, Ian Quinn, Braden Zerves, the top 5. Webster, Ecom, and Jelly Noel Corsi transfer through. Petticord, the first driver on the outside looking in, hoping for some penalties to potentially promote him. Ethan Gonzalez, Antonsen, Jace Webb, Hunter McCown, first 5 out and then beyond. So many drivers taken out of this one here. A handful still made it across the line, like Nastasi, Donato, Simpson, and Phillips, but then Alex Zacusillo, Joseph Camel, Wyatt Deegan, Miles Goodman, and Carmelo Cueto, victims of the chaos that is hard to say anything but expected when it comes to B pre-final action. Gnarly stuff for the first race to set the tone here for some wild weather from Charlotte Motor Speedway, with main events on tap here in a handful of moments. I think everybody expected the weather to cool off, the wind, and of course the threat of rain. We had just a small wave, got the very tip of it rolling through the Pro Show division warm-ups. And then it seemed to have cleared out. We even got a little sunshine right before we went back green with this B pre-final. Now we're back to overcast. Who knows what's in store for us for the rest of the day, Caleb? We got a good seat in the house, though, to watch it.
Yeah, good warm seat, luckily for us to watch all the racing. Look, the temperature has definitely dropped. We're excited to watch it. We're excited to see, and this is all kicking off just in 12 minutes time. K Masters getting ready to go, and it's main event time, Xander. I can't wait. The Charlotte Motor Speedway has provided a lot of great moments already to this weekend in the last 2 years that we've been coming here at the Stars Championship Series, but it's the start of a new year. I touched on it this morning, and I'll touch on it again here. I'm excited to get this one kicked off.
Yeah, that's right. 10:14 a.m. K Masters takes to the racetrack for their 14 minutes plus 2-lap main event. Micro Swift will roll after them at 10:35. K Junior 10:56. KZ Masters, KZ Super Masters, Swift Stars, and then K Stars, the class we just saw. Those first 10, if it holds, will join the other 30 that transferred through today. Here's a look also at the action that'll continue back-to-back weekends here with multiple races for you to keep watching the coverage. We're live today in 2 places, East and West Coast, with the Stars Championship Series right now. In a little bit, the Champions of the Future Americas on the West Coast gets underway. Next week, the Florida Karting Championship, second round on Kart Chaser Grassroots with the return of Monticello Karting. It'll be the biggest event that venue's hosted in decades. MCC Kartplex hosts their opener for their club championship. And then 2 races on the right are the first 2 of 4 on the May 1st to 3 weekend. The Miami Grand National Championship just about an hour down the road at Trackhouse Motorplex. The K1 World Championship over at K1 Circuit on Kart Chaser Grassroots. The Texas Sprint Racing Series at NOLA Motorsports Park, and a Cinco de Mayo back-to-back club race stint for round 2 of the MCC Pro-Am Championship. A lot of fun. Jackets are on today. It's a little colder, but we're still racing at America's home for it here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Stars Championship Series. We'll be ready with main events here soon enough.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Come on, man.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser Driver Fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm gonna show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion. Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad. Coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsport Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the cart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now, this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America, use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Well, it's time to go racing in main event action. The KA Masters getting ready to kick this one off. And up to this point, this weekend, throughout the races, if you will, it's been all about one man, and it's been all about the number one pretty much since 2023. 3 years in a row, the reigning champ, John Bonanno, getting ready to start this race off from the pole position. He won Heat 1. He backed it up in heat race number 2, and in the pre-final, it was a lot closer, but he was able to get the win there as well. Anthony Stifler qualified on the pole on the Friday. He's going to look to take the fight to him, but he's a little bit further back in this field. We're getting ready to kick everything off here, and this one getting set to go green here, Xander.
Should be a ton of fun. The Masters always keep the weekend in mind that the big race is the one about to go green, the one forming up in the tram lines. We've seen, for the most part, a pretty closely packed lead group, but not a lot of action. Let's see it now. KA Masters is green. Two around, no, more of them. 3 or 4, Chuck Tate involved, Tyler Prestel involved, one of the Carapilatis involved as well. as John Bonanno gets away with the early lead down the backstretch for the first time.
Byron Daly in a second, and already David Galonia in the 291 up to third. Stifler now looking to make a move on him as they work their way up to turn number 10. But again, we talked about how close that pre-final was, and we talked about how important the starts are here as well. And quite notably, under review, that incident at the start of the race. No surprise there, and no surprise as well that John Bonanno has gotten the perfect start here in this main event as Galonia looking to hold off Anthony Stifler as we start lap number 2. But up front, Daly already reeling John Bonanno back in just that little bit more. 2 to 3 car lengths is a separation up at the front, and it's even more than that when you go back to third here with Galonia.
And Galonia looked like he didn't get the good exit out of the chicane that he needed, and now Anthony Stifler goes by him at the end of the backstretch. Moves Stifler back up to third. He's had a very solid performance this weekend. The pre-final left him probably feeling like he had a bit more, left a little on the table. But what a night and day difference, literally and figuratively it is here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Nearly 30 degrees cooler as the race start. Again, under review for the stewards. And no surprise, there was basically 2 different incidents that kind of unfolded there. First, we had a couple drivers get turned around at turn number 1, and then it seemed like a second wreck, almost like an aftershock from an earthquake off the start that happened at the exit of turn number 2 that took out a couple of major contenders that now is going to have us really keeping a close eye on some of the hard chargers having to go from way back, including the likes of Bo Mato and Paul Elefante, who are on the opposite kind of storyline from that, in that they had to start all the way at the rear and avoiding the start chaos. They've already picked up double-digit positions. Equal to that as well, Chris Horan. We saw him spun backwards in the pre-final. He's up 10. He started 18th. He's in 8th spot now as the leaders begin to tighten up front. Now he's a good ways back from the lead, but it's a lengthy final. And he just, Anthony Stifler going purple here is going to bring the pressure to the number 1 plate. John Bonanno's been almost unchallenged here, Caleb. He's had pressure. He's had a few moments where we've seen another driver make an attempt, but for the most part, he's been able to keep them all just at arm's distance and not closer. That's not the case here this morning. Byron Daly has arrived.
And that's, again, something that we touched on this morning was a changing condition, right? We talked about how important choosing those tire pressures is going to be, and early on, you know, it's no surprise that you're seeing them kind of not maybe getting out of some of the corners as fast as we saw yesterday with the heat. And again, it's bringing everybody just that little bit closer together to start this one off. And you talk about John Bonanno not being challenged here. That's almost 2 years in a row here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stifler, though, gonna now challenge for second. He's got it into turn number 8 over Byron Daly. And a lot of wind, like we mentioned as well, blowing through this racetrack, and that's gonna change a little bit of the sections and a little bit of the passing zones that we've seen here as well. Back to Bonanno's point, he's won here 2 years in a row, 2024, 2025, looking to make it 3 in a row here to start off 2026 on his 4th year defending this championship. And again, a lot like what we saw in the pre-final there, Xander. The top 3 very close together with potentially more on their way. Galonia is not too far back. Estes is right there. Heinig is not too far back. He's in 6th. And the second group to Kozak, or I should say the third group, 7th on back, they're ways behind this front pack. You see Daly already struggling early in this one with over 10 minutes to go.
And I wonder, too, if that struggle was just the fact of Anthony Stifler going by, and that with the tires being cooler, it's even harder when you have to go offline to bring the temps back up and keep rolling. Maybe why forward momentum is really important. And Anthony Stifler was trying to roll with it right there. It didn't pay off, and now he has to reset again and gets a little help from Daly. The pack behind continues to close. David Galonia now has brought that margin down to 1.2 seconds. He was a full 1/10 of a second better than Bonanno, who of course had to get out of the power to cross over Stifler at the end of the lap. But the damage done, it won't take much more to get 6 of them all lined up here in K Masters as we approach halfway here in this main event. A long way to go. It'll probably be a little over 20 laps for the Masters drivers. We're working the end of lap number 7 right now. And Stifler again with a run towards Bonanno, but he's going to hesitate probably to try and make that pass in turn 14 again. Let's see if he goes for a different option. How about turn 1 right here in front of us? Anthony Stifler takes over here at the end of lap number 7.
And for those of you that are just joining us here today for the Sunday, looking at this track and looking how it's raced throughout the years as well, turn 14, you saw it out of Stifler there, looking to make a move, and that's one of the corners where it's so easy to set up a crossover, to set up an over-under, and that's partially why it didn't work for the 204 just a couple of laps ago. Turn number 1 is a much comfortable passing zone here at this place. We talked about turn number 10 being one of those as well, where that's a move you can make and make it stick. 14 is a little bit harder, but Stifler's been behind that number 1 for the entirety of this weekend. And you know he's going to want to be up there, and you know he's going to want to be in control of this race, just like he did a lap ago, making that move in a turn number 1. And now Bonanno, this gap I think has quite surprisingly opened up more than I thought it would here, Xander. Just a lap removed from that pass for the lead.
I mean, it's no different than what we just saw with Daly, right? As soon as Stifler got by him, it took him a full lap before he was able to get back to the bumper, and even that he had some help by Stifler having the botched pass, or botch might not be the right word, but the instantly corrected pass attempt by Bonanno. Now Byron Daly's going to take advantage of Bonanno being vulnerable. He'll go past him, and we'll get to see if it's truly about momentum, or is Anthony Stifler just that fast right now? This would be huge for him on his first weekend, getting to sport his own brand, his own Stifler Motorsports logo. But those couple of moves have brought new faces now fully into the picture. David Galonia, Brand Estes, Eric Heinig, they are there. It is a full 4.5 seconds now back to Paul Montopoli, who is going to have to deal with Chris Horan here at the end of the lap, back for 6th. Because Horan's forward progress has already taken him by Evan Kozak. He has caught up to 7th, and he's just going to be watching this lead group go at it, either on the Jumbotron or when the track goes back the other direction and he gets a view at him. And equally, look at that, you see karts flurrying in the background, some of them involved in the first turn incidents like Chris Stevens and Kim Karapalati, Jeff Clyde, Alexander Shishkov, lap traffic, and was flagged off. Only 2 of them ended up getting flagged off at the end of that pre-final, but now in the extended distance of the main event, there will be a number of drivers that may not get to run the full distance, and if any of them miss that black flag to go to pit lane, Caleb, it could be a huge wrench thrown at this whole pack of 6.
Yeah, it's going to be dicey to try and navigate that. And again, Stars officials doing the best they can. Again, just remove that lap traffic, as a couple already coming into the pits. It looked like maybe Bryant not going to close this one off, as well as one of the KWR machines. Shishkov is getting set to cross the line, but there's a good number of them that we talked about, right? Just getting collected at the start of this race. That kind of put him on the back foot here, but it finally looks like the number 1 is coming to life. The same for Byron Daly. They're starting to pick it up. And it just shows you one lap here, or one pass, I should say, loses you a good chunk of time today on the Sunday. A little different than what we saw yesterday. But this is, again, a good look for second on back as they start to reel in the 204, who's up 4 spots.
Look at Paul Elefante as well with the biggest move up the board from the original grid spot. Up 16. Now the 204 will only be up 3. Byron Daly makes it 3 different leaders here so far in K Masters with the move in 14. And they're all getting antsy behind him. You can see everybody dancing in the braking zone. Going down to turn number 1. It's getting close to go time. Only 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Daly the leader. Back to Stifler, to Bonanno. David Galonia has been watching these 3 the whole race, hunting and trying to charge towards them. Eric Heinig behind him will make a move. His forward progress continues now, going at it with Estes. He'll hold the spot and move Eric Heinig into the top 5 for what I believe may be the first time since the contact with Paul Montopoli earlier in the weekend in Heat 1, as Bonanno makes a bid now for second. And the 1 plate goes up to P2.
Yeah, and Stifler took a look over the shoulder on the backstretch, the run from turn 7 to 8. Looked back, nodded his head, yes, saying, push me to John Bonanno. And Bonanno just wanted to be the first one to get up there to Byron Daly. And again, for the 266, he was quite decisive, right? Got to the lead in turn 14, wanted to go defensive into turn number 1. So you got to think, that best kart, that Prodigy Motorsports machine is not going to make it easy for the number 1 and John Bonanno to retake the lead. We've seen his pace. And I think that's smart, right? If you're in the 66, knowing that Bonanno has been the benchmark in the class this weekend, or I should say in the last couple of years, Just keep them behind you. More moves. Heinig looking on the inside now, turn 14 on Galonia. He's got it. Essa's looking to follow on the Eyes Up Racing OTK. A little harder that time in turn 15, but he's able to get clear. Galonia now at the back of this pack, and is now split into two. Still 6 cars in this front pack and in frame.
Byron Daly is on the younger side of the K Masters group. He got a very late start in outdoor competitive motorsport. He was a former pro esports NASCAR Coke Series driver on iRacing. He's worked his tail off to be able to work in the motorsports industry and to be able to still compete on the weekends. Last weekend in KA Masters, he was able to get his first national level podium. And now he is looking for his first career national win. You'll have that when you have dominance like what has been the case for John Bonanno over the last few years, because equally Anthony Stifler, a regular at the Stars Championship Series, equally has never won a Stars Championship Series K Masters main event. Bonanno has been nearly picture perfect in all of his championship seasons. There are so many drivers that would love to get a new career high, but here comes the reigning champ to take back the lead. Bonanno back in front with 2.5 minutes to go, Caleb.
And Daly's got to answer as soon as possible here, right? You got to stay in front. You got to stay in control. Byron Daly, decisive move there out of Bonanno, but you need to go right back as soon as possible to get yourself up there. You know, Stifler's going to want to be there, going to want to get himself back up to second. It's just, you know, making a move, making it stick, and making yourself known, right? You can't let Bonanno get comfortable here at the front.
You've got to take away the rhythm here. He was just getting back into the flow of it all, it looked like, as he made that pass, because the laps before he was tracking closer. Now they're kind of bottling up. Stifler's early race pace fading. The sun beginning to show itself once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You saw as well here the tires for the K Masters, along with the majority of the classes in the undercard, running the same set through the entire weekend. They are on their 5th heat cycle. It's a long one, and they are spurting chunks of rubber left, right, and center, and you can see how dirty the track is because of it. David Galonia, he's a long-time racer, has a garage at Newcastle Motorsports Park. We always expect him to be in the hunt when we go up there, but it would be a first for him at Charlotte Motor Speedway and a first win away from home in quite some time.
Now that'd be a great result for David Galonia to get himself back up to where we've seen him in years past. But now the gap up front was at a car length, and they're out of the chicane, and you're seeing him close down into turn number 8, just over a minute to go, and an extra 2 laps to decide the first main event of the year here at the Queen City Gambit at the Stars Championship Series. Daly, what does he do? Does he go in turn 14? Yes, he does. They're side by side, up and over the curve for Daly. 3 wide, didn't work for Byron, and Stifler's through for second.
He committed, but not enough, and now his teammate cuts him a huge break there in turn number 1. If Eric Heinig would have let that one fly, that could have absolutely let the top 2 get away, but instead, he'll play nice here for now and keep all 6 of them connected. Daly with another chance at it. What did you learn there? Chris Horan, he was more than 6 seconds back. He's now under 5 seconds away, and with the leaders duking it out, he's been able to go quickest. We mentioned he had to start all the way at the rear. This has been an unreal drive here for Chris Horan, up 11 spots from 18th on the grid. There he is in the Magic Kart at a Paul Montopoli, and behind him is Paul Elefante on the Rocket Racing machine. He is up 17 spots from 26th on the grid. But in your lead pack, with 10 seconds to go, no, 2 laps to go per official timing and scoring, John Bonanno. Every year, he has been able to stand on top of the championship podium in recent memory. He's got the one plate to remind everyone of it. He has been a phenomenal ambassador for this class. He has talked at length, Caleb, in his post-race interviews, not so much about his own performance, but how proud he is that the competition level at this series, in this Masters class specifically, has continued to grow, has continued to rise, and he's enjoyed just testing himself amongst this massive field. But can he stay above them all with the final lap looming? Anthony Stifler bobbled a little bit there. He had a thought about going at him in the last turn. He didn't, and now he can't get to him in one, and he overshoots it a little as well.
Yeah, a little sideways, a little out of shape there. You saw that rear end just kick out a little bit, but Stifler, he was denied in both of the heat races. Bonanno passed him around the outside on both of the starts, and now, as we work our way out of turn number 7, up to turn number 8, Anthony Stifler, only a couple corners to go to look to get your first win in the Masters division. They're gonna work their way up the hill, and it's make or break it for Anthony Stifler.
Bonanno heard him coming. He covers the inside. Daly trying to give Stifler every opportunity. He could have stuffed it there. He didn't. Stifler is still close. Still leaves the bottom side open. Daly hangs tough for third. Stifler gets bobbled off the back of Bonanno. And the reigning champ reigns supreme again. John Bonanno wins in KA Masters to start the new year. A massive points haul. A perfect score. And with 5 drivers on his heels, once again, the one plate ends in position number 1. A valiant effort for Anthony Stifler. It'll be a career best finish for him. Byron Daly will make it 2 podiums in back-to-back weekends with a 3rd. Eric Heinig 4th. Galonia 5th. Brant Estes 6th. Paul Montopoli 7th, as he and Paul Elefante were able to get the better of Chris Horan in the final laps. And Paul Elefante, how about that? He's got the fast lap of the race. He went up from 26th on the grid. He ends in 8th ahead of Horan and Caligaro. And here, a look back further. So many drivers across the grid with some downbeat luck. John Stanescu, Andre Lorenz unable to finish, Tyler Presto, Ken Simonelli, Chris McGinley, Chuck Tate, Evan Kozak even collected all in the turn 1 and 2 chaos. But this man's seen more clear racetrack than anyone, and in the main event, he knew the fight was coming, and he maintained the lead when the checkered flag fell. Cameron, down to you.
John, sporting the number 1 plate this year and able to do it again in round 1. Tell me about it.
Keeping it rolling. You know, every year I say this, it feels like every first race of the season for me. Every year I just pray I got one more year left in me, but today, you know, felt strong, had a good run. Had a little competition there, getting past and moving back a little bit, which wasn't like yesterday, but had a great run. So,
yeah, 6-cart battle there. All you guys close together in that lead pack. Kind of what was going through your mind there on those last couple of laps?
So just trusting the work I put in over the winter, you know, get myself in shape, trusting we had the setup. Might have changed a couple of things if I had to do it over again, but she ran good today.
Well, it worked out well for you. Congratulations, John.
Yeah, let me just thank my family and friends out there watching. Of course, thank Timmy Tech, who I've been pitting with all these Stars races, the last 3 championships, Engine Builder, TAP, and of course the Comp Kart, which I've been on for about 11 years now. So, great package.
Well, there you go, John Bonanno.
There's a reason he's been able to maintain that level of supremacy here in the division. What a great race. Good to see the Masters drivers talking about what a phenomenal battle it was. It was clean from start to finish in the KA Master race up front. It was a bit chaotic to get them going, but overall, a phenomenal race to watch there, especially in those closing laps. A lot of hard-fought, clean battling here to kick off our first main event of the day. And the racing is only going to continue and only going to get more and more impactful as the grids blow up from that one. It was a near 30 kart field for KA Masters. It'll be 40 deep for the likes of Swift Stars and KA Stars. And it'll be a lot of fun to watch those classes coming up here shortly. Micro Swift, though, next one set to go.
Yeah, great race there out of John Bonanno, and you see it there. That they bring out the sticker kit with the number already embedded in it, and you know he's happy. You know Tim Shutt's going to be happy about that one as well, with a driver who's been with him for quite some time, and Bonanno, that package with the Comp Kart, 11 years running, still fast, and again, showing why he's at the front of this field. He's headed to post-race tech, but more with the Micro Swifts. And Xander, I got to look back to that pre-final yesterday. Jack Katowski, Compatiello, and you talk about Schiavo as well, who was in it. What a way, and that to me was probably my favorite moment of the Saturday, and probably of the weekend. 3 wide, nice and clean, competitive, and I just cannot wait for what we're about to see here in Micro Swift.
Yeah, what a run to the line that one was. A great display of clean racing action. Again, hopefully it'll back up what we just witnessed there in KA Masters. Jack Katowski, as you mentioned, off that three-wide battle for the lead with Compitiello and Franco Schiavo leads from the green. Joining Franco on row 2 is going to be Tristan Francisco. Trey Sanders and Bo Wyatt back on row number 3.
Jackson Rhino is looking for some luck today on the Sunday. He starts back on row number 4 with Brody Allegretta. Jose Torres, Bryson Barnett, your top 10 starters on row number 5 with Spencer Height and Grayson Waite on row number 6.
Row 7 finds Dusty Strayer a little further back than where he'd like to be on the TKG Bureau Art. And then beyond Dusty, it'll be Deland Merchandini, Kipling Canals, Oliver Smith, Roman Machine and Hayden Sampson back on row 9, TJ Akers, Luca Valadez, Caden Darmani back on row number 11, all by his lonesome of the 21. So here we go again. Main event number 2, the wind gusts blowing the Vroom flags along the front straightaway. Alec Coates, the race director, has the field. He'll let them know where to be. We've got our cameras spot on him. Jack Katowski gets us underway in micro.
Oh, and a couple of rounds, Strayer facing the wrong way. Another one of the Nitro carts around in turn number 1, 3 together. 3 of them off. That's Trey Sanders, Compitiello, and Reynolds all off the racetrack on the exit of turn number 5.
Not ideal to kick this one off here as they roll down the backstretch. Now Bo Wyatt looking to go on Francisco as Jack Katowski rockets away with the early race lead. A huge blow there. Heartbreaker for Spencer Height off the rip. And now look at the Team Ferris racing machine that has gotten his way up and into the main group. Brody Allegretta, I believe, if not Jose Torres, one of the pair right there in 5th. It looks like it might be Torres. No, it's Allegretta in the 17. There he is across the line. First lap in the books. Katowski to Wyatt to Francisco Schiavo, then Allegretta, and then Torres. Or no, Torres and then Allegretta indeed. The 13 and the 17. The 2 black and blue machines, 5th and 6th beyond them. Bryson Barnett, Grayson Waite, Kip Canals with a good start. Same with Darmani.
Yeah, good start for a couple, getting themselves clear of the scrum that transpired there. But a move already, turn number 8. You look at Jose Torres going by on Franco Schiavo, and that's a change for 4th. We saw how easy it was to close down the gap after a hectic start in Masters. We'll see if these cadet drivers can do the same. Bo Wyatt is leading the pack of himself and Tristan Francisco up to the lead of Katowski. Movers further back. There goes the 12 of Barnett on Allegretta. And then behind him, one of the Paralyn machines as well, just standing by. That's Grayson Waite.
Bo Wyatt able to clock the fastest lap of the session here as we get going and we take a look at the movers. Liam Compitiello, of course, way down the board, having to charge back up in the number 48. He's got time, but the packs have certainly gotten all spread out amongst the racetrack here as the nice move is made there by Bryson Barnett on Franco. And look how quickly Bo Wyatt has reeled in Jack Katowski. Nearly 7/10 was the margin last time by. Barely a feather between the two now, headed to 14. And beyond him, of course, Tristan Francisco rolling forward as well. The leader got a gift early, and that's been unwrapped and already thrown away. Bo Wyatt right on the heels of Jack Katowski as the rest of the field closes, and Bo, of course, in doing so, sets the new fast time.
You see Katowski already knows that Bo Wyatt's there right behind him. They just tapped the back of his helmet, pointed forward. Wanted to kind of keep this going, and one's off. That's the 44 TW Racing of Darmani. A CRG off in the infield there in turn number 1. Like an incident maybe on that front stretch out of this race early. Unfortunately there for Darmani, who was looking to work his way through this field. He was in 16th, unfortunately out of this one early. But top 3 here, Katowski, Wyatt, and Tristan Francisco. Very similar, must be said, to what we saw a week ago. And Francisco looking to recover here this weekend, looking to kind of gain a little bit more momentum than what he had at Trackhouse Motorplex. He's got it on the racetrack, must be said. Fastest lap of the race for Francisco, 46.27, as he's now bumper to bumper with a top 2.
And the drivers will change position right as Francisco arrives. Bo Wyatt, the new leader, now headed down the hill to turn number 10. Francisco following. Jose Torres on a tear as well, having worked his way through the pack and surviving the opening couple of laps off the start. Now, what will the gap go down to? It was 2.6 seconds up to the bumper of Katowski last lap. With that pass, does he close? Well, he lost his help. Jackson Reinholdt's now at the front of that next group. He's gone past Franco Schiavo, then Brody Allegreda, then Grayson Waite, then Bryson Barnett.
Yeah, so that group has opened up. You saw Reynolds there, that was 5th on back. And these top two are, again, with the passes, leaving Katowski here a little bit. It was just that half a second when they crossed the line. It might be just a little bit more than that. We'll see when they cross the line. But Wyatt on the Bennick, race after race, and again, event after event. We talked about how close the 51 has been to getting himself to victory lane this year in 2026. The same for Tristan Francisco this year, looking for the first one. And Katowski, he already has a couple, been the winningest driver in this Micro Swift division here this year.
Look how quickly these two have pulled away from Jack Katowski. The speed of the TKG Beryl Art looked great yesterday. Different conditions, and now just losing a bit of momentum. And combining that with how good these two hooked up the moment they went by him, he has almost already fallen out of the drafting window. Tristan Francisco is locked onto the rear bumper of Bo Wyatt, and they are nearly a full second already up the road from Katowski.
Yeah, and to take a look at the lap times here, just to show you guys the margins, it's a 46.3 for Katowski, and he's still improving. Those were personal bests, but in comparison to the 45s that both Bo Wyatt and Tristan Francisco are running, they're about 4/10 quicker than the Beryl Art back in 3rd for the Trinity Karting Group. And that's the first time we haven't seen Katowski 4/10 off anywhere this year. Surprising to see, but again, these conditions are catching a lot of them off guard today. We've talked about it a whole lot. Luckily for Katowski, though, if it ends like this, it'd be a good points haul with Torres, who's a good bit back, and he's 3/10 off of Katowski, so it should stick for Katowski here, but you know this kid has been a determined race winner this year, and he's got that killer instinct to him.
He does. He's got time on his side. He will be able to mount a charge again if he can get going now, but he's losing quickly touch with all of them up front. As we check in, that's the likes of Grayson Waite and Kip Knaus there at 10th and 11th, but look who's caught up to the back of him. The kid in 12th, just beyond in the orange and black. Liam Compatiello's rebound drive in progress. He's already gotten by Rowan Machine. And last time by, he was only a couple of tenths off the leaders. He was significantly faster than the group that he's trying to track down, which should allow him to get back close to the top 5 again, as Tristan Francisco and Bo Wyatt at this point in the race look like they're starting to settle in, seem to be happy in the formation they've got, trying to make it a 2-horse battle out front, keep Jack Katowski frozen in no man's land, along with the next two of Jose Torres and Jackson Reinholdts. And here at the back of the top 10, this battling is just going to help Compatiello's march. You can see him there in the red and orange, in the blue suit. He's closing in on all of them. Torres leads Trey Sanders, then to the 12 of Barnett, then Schiavo, then Kip Knaus, then Waite, and then it is Compatiello. He has arrived, Caleb. He's there, and they're going to continue to fight in front of him. That'll back him further into his front bumper. Trey Sanders now at the front of the group.
Yeah, Sanders with the move there. Looked like Knaus was able to get through as well on Schiavo, who's getting shuffled down the order here. But again, it looked like they were battling just in that group, and it allowed everybody else on the edge of the top 10 to work their way through. Here's another look. The leader still bumper to bumper, nose to tail. No movements out of them yet. And Knaus looking for another one. Turn number 1. Kip looking. He's got it out of turn number 2. So that moves Knaus up to 8th. Barnett to 9th.
Schiavo's going to have a run at Barnett now down the backstretch if he wants to roll with it, or he'll push him. Looked like Barnett got enough of a toe off Knaus to keep the 37 at bay. Compatiello rolling up to the back of Grayson Waite. Let's see if he goes here down at turn number 10, trying to make that move there. Meanwhile, the leaders head out of the final turn. 5.5 minutes and another lap gone. 11 down, a near full straightaway lead back to Jack Katowski. Jackson Reinholdt's up to 4th now. And then here, look at Compatiello's group, nearly 3 wide as they came out of the last turn.
Yeah, caught us by surprise here on that front stretch. They were all 3 wide, but here is the predicted catch time. 6 laps is what we're predicting here for Jackson Reynolds and Jack Katowski. His group of Torres, they've been fast. That Nitro Kart's at the helm of it and looking to get himself a first career podium here in 2-cycle racing action. Finished second at the CKNA Grand Nationals last year in Newcastle Motorsports Park, and this year making the move to Micro, looking to get his first podium, and only a second time of asking here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It'd be big for Jackson Reinholz. Obviously, the Ryan Perry Motorsport Nitro Kart crew, we send our well wishes and get well soon to Jake Manolio with a broken arm from yesterday's incident. He was transported to a nearby medical center for further evaluation. We hope we'll get to see Jake back soon. And Slate Harrell as well. We don't know if we'll get to see him later on in the Swift Stars event, but a scary moment equally with a flip on his own. So this would be a nice pick-me-up for that crew, especially if not just Jackson could get up to and past Jack Katowski, but if Tristan Francisco could win out against Bo Wyatt up front in the closing stages, because at 4 seconds, it's really just going to come down to those two here in the last bit of this race.
And this one just getting set to come to a close. Just under 4 minutes, 3.5 just about to go left in this main event, and then another 2 laps to decide it. And looking at this group here, they are closing. Look at the lap times, 46 flat for Jackson in the 24, and for Katowski a 46.2, 2/10 a lap better for Torres and Reynolds as they continue to close. And here's a look at your leaders, no change, but the fastest lap of the race did go the way of the 20 car of Tristan Francisco.
They've got a lot of time still to continue to just tick the clock down and feel each other out here. In the case of Bo Wyatt, trying to judge where, based on when he gets a push from Tristan, he's got a little bit more strength. Tristan Francisco, he's got the great view of where he can see exactly everywhere, every corner, every straightaway. He's got either a little bit better of a package or a little bit worse than the race leader by pushing him along. But how quickly has this gap come down? Jackson Reinholz there, close it in on Jack Katowski. That fight for third looming. The leaders headed to the last turn. This will be 15 complete as the laps continue to get ticked off by the top 2. Bo Wyatt now leading the most laps without any question as to what will happen at the end of this race, fighting for his first. Tristan Francisco fighting for another big-time win.
This one getting set to draw to a close, like you said, Tanner. Only 2 minutes to go, and Bo Wyatt has been so close time and time again this year. Could this be the weekend? Could Tristan Francisco get back to a place that he was familiar with last weekend? Slipped out of his hands this weekend, looking for redemption. Just an hour away from Trackhouse Motorplex. And they are playing this race out perfectly. Just pushing each other, working together, running away from the rest of the field. As the gap back for third still closes with Reinholz and Katowski. We're just there. We're just about there, Xander. They're about a 10th away for the battle for third here, the last of the podium places.
Yeah, Reinholz got right to Katowski at the end of that lap. We'll see if we can catch up with it. Has he gotten by already? He's gotten right to the back of Jack Katowski. Now he's looking to go. Katowski doesn't want to give it up. He'll cover the inside on the backstretch. That'll leave him down in momentum in the run down to 10. A minute plus 2 laps to go. Reinholz wants the spot. Katowski knows he doesn't have much time left. If he can just park the bus for the remaining laps, he can still salvage some hardware to go home with. He's way low in the last turn. Reinholz crossing him up. Textbook crossover, but he's still bogged a little on exit. Can he clear himself? Yes, Jackson Reinholz up to third.
That's a good move there out of the 24 to get himself clear for third. Last of the podium places here. Katowski, again, we talked about it, just missing 0.2 of a second in comparison to the rest of his competitors. But you know he's going to want to salvage something, thinking probably about the championship at the end of the year. And now he's falling under fire to Torres. Didn't get a good exit out of 5, and a change for the lead. Tristan Francisco is now in control with just about 15 seconds plus 2 laps left in this main event.
They'll just make it to the line with a couple seconds on the clock still. It'll be 2 laps to go next time by for the race leaders. As we continue to wait, they're up to more than 7.5 seconds up on the rest of the field. Liam Compatiello, a little bit out of shape there for Francisco in the chicane. Bo Wyatt ready to go now. Back to the front for the 51. Yes, at the end of the backstretch, he gets the job done.
And now Francisco to second, looking to get to work now. Turn number 10, Wyatt's gonna go to the bottom. They know time has probably expired. 2 laps to go when they cross the line, this time by. Bo Wyatt goes to the bottom. Francisco, is he gonna get the over-under? They're gonna be side by side on the exit of 14, into turn 15. The leaders, door to door. Is he clear? He is. Francisco's to the point with 2 to go.
Tristan Francisco, Bo Wyatt, a mano-a-mano slugfest incoming here at the front of the field with a lap and a half remaining. Reinhold's still gonna have to fight tooth and nail as Katowski's all over him, as you can see on the pylon equally. Down the backstretch, Francisco just a little bit of a cover, but it wasn't the greatest of exits for Bo Wyatt. He'll stay a car length away. Francisco should be good enough to open. No, he'll cover it off anyway. And Bo's gonna get the crossover done in 11. A little bit of contact as they get tripped up on the exit. Gives Bo an advantage. He'll cover regardless. And he's so far out in front, it really hurt the run. Tristan's gonna have a huge go at him here. White flag, 1 to go. Bo Wyatt low, Francisco high. Locking the brakes up, Wyatt holds for now.
And here we go into the chicane. Out of turn number 3, into turn number 4. Francisco is right there. We've seen the run up to turn number 8, but he has to perfect this. The 20 needs to be perfect here out of turn number 7. Needs to give himself a shot when they work their way up to the hill. Wyatt's gonna go a lane lower than Francisco, but this is it. Only 5 corners to go left on this racetrack to decide the first winner here in Stars Championship Series competition in micro.
Bo Wyatt had a 5-second plus first career win ripped away in the race control box. He is still looking for that first time to stand on the top step. He's low again. Francisco crosses him over, and Tristan Francisco pulls off the stunner. Tristan Francisco wins in Charlotte.
What a move. What a way to set up the crossover. And redemption day on Sunday after last week for Francisco, and to the line. How in the world Trey Sanders is on the podium?
Trey Sanders shocks that entire 3-pack, tracking him down by himself, and he gets that last spot away. Katowski 4th, Reinhold's 5th, Jose Torres in 6th. What a finish to micro.
A lot of surprises here. Sanders out of nowhere gets himself back up to 3rd. There is an incident under review, all results provisional, but Tristan Francisco in the 20 is gonna be victorious here on Sunday.
Oh, what a way to get it done. Tristan Francisco, top of the board. Top honors for the young Canadian with another win. Oh, so close for Bo Wyatt. Phenomenal race, though, between the pair. And how about Trey Sanders? Congratulations to the Ryan Perry Motorsport crew. Double podium. We thought it was going to go the way of Reinholdt, and Trey pulls it off. Let's go and hear from our race winner.
Tristan, you drove that race like a professional. You stayed really patient that whole time there in second. What was going through your head there that whole race?
I was just sitting there, and I just wanted to win, so I was just pushing him, get away, and last stop battle. That's what I thought it was going to be, and it was. And then he balked, and I just passed him.
Yeah, that was a really good over-under there in the last corner. When you kind of got bumped here in turn 10, was that your plan to try to over-under him in that last corner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my grandparents, and RPM.
There you guys have it. Tristan Francisco.
So Tristan Francisco victorious here in Micro Swift. He'll get to head into the scale lines and celebrate with the team, the crew. What a phenomenal performance here in our youngest superstars. And there's a look at the provisional standings coming out of the weekend. Jack Katowski just by a nose on top off the great Saturday over Bo Wyatt. But with the final results, Tristan Francisco by 2 points will lead us into the King of the Castle over Wyatt, Sanders, and Liam Competiello. We've got more action in store. The KZ Masters and KZ Supermasters are getting ready to roll here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be ready to bring you more main event action here with 2 in the books and a lot more racing left from America's home for racing.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
You can hear the engines rumbling on the racetrack here. KZ Masters and KZ Supermasters set to go green from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jordan Musser's had them all covered by a lot over this weekend. He wasn't even here last year. He has seemed like he might as well have lived at this place with the pace advantage he's had over the field. But they have closed up over the course of the 3 races thus far. John Crow, the best of them, and the best of the KZ Supermasters drivers. You'll notice those with the 500 digits, the 600 digits, or the single digit in the case of Jordan Musser and the 3-plate of Matt Machiko starting towards the front end of the field as well. Musser on the right in the red and white for PSL Karting. John Crow on the left in the VTM Racing RS kart. New livery, new chassis for him, and he has put it on the front row for today's main event. Then it'll be Hernando Sanchez, Kevin LaCroix, Morn Van Talk got a phenomenal start to their pre-final. He starts back on the inside of the 3rd row. Keep your eye on him. The 568's been really good off the line. As we go to the lights for our first standing start of the day, KZ Masters, KZ Supermasters from Charlotte is green. Oh! John Crow spun off the inside front tire of Fernando Sanchez off the line.
Like LaCroix could have probably just gotten into the back there of John Crow at the start of this race, going into turn number 1, everybody deep on the brakes, and that's given Jordan Musser a great gap out in front. We talked about the changing conditions. It's a clean state for everybody, even for Jordan Musser. But that being said, John Crow, who has been the 2nd fastest so far this weekend, taken out of contention here early.
Number of battles here on the opening lap coming to a head. Hernando Sanchez now getting away with 3rd. It's Matt Machiko from the 3rd row on the outside. Oh, and he blows turn 1. Matt Machiko out of 2nd. He keeps it going. He'll slot in line around 5th or 6th. But a rare mistake, a big one out of the 3-plate.
Very surprising there out of Machiko. And again, you look back at a driver who won this championship back in 2024. Definitely not what we expected to see for him to get this one kicked off. But that's kind of promoted the likes of Morn Van Talk up another spot. Looks like he's currently ahead of another one of the VTM RS
Looks
cards.
to be Juan Unagaro there
correct.
in the white helmet. Then, VTM overall right now, they have now moved into 3rd, 4th, 5th. Machiko actually ahead of 1 as it updates there, and there you go. So Morn Van Talk, 3rd, 4th, 5th on the racetrack, and Morn now the new leader in Supermasters. With one of his teammates in the regular Masters class pressuring him. Kevin LaCroix fastest on the circuit that time, and Machiko into the pit lane. And no surprise, it must have been something wrong with the braking system for him to have the issue down at the end of one of the fastest areas at turn number 1 that's taken him out of contention. So it'll be a DNF for the reigning third place finisher in the points in KZ Masters. Van Tock is going to wave his teammate on by, not fighting for him in the division win. So Juan Unigaro moves forward and Matt Machiko drops down the leaderboard in KZ Masters.
Well, just when I thought somebody had something for Jordan Musser, Musser responds for the fastest lap of the race. Both of the PSO karting barrel arts, fastest on the racetrack. And again, LaCroix, a lap ago, he was purple. Musser with the response this last time around, and again, just kind of showing the speed out in front for the number 1. LaCroix is a second back, and we'll see what it looks like this time. But Sanchez still in third, Unigaro and Bedard, your top 5 overall here in this one. And again, that gap starting to grow as well up at the front, now to 1.5, a second and a half.
Yeah, healthy gap beginning to open up here for Jordan Musser. It's going to be a long race for Kevin LaCroix to watch his teammate drive off into the distance. Still would be a phenomenal PSL 1-2. The important gap to note, though, realistically, is the gap in KZ Supermasters. Morn Van Tock and John Crow. Crow just flurried on by. Here's a look back. Frank Runco making a move. Little too deep on his fellow Magic Kart teammate, Hugh Templeman, but he hangs on. Gets that spot there. That's inter-class racing there, or at least battling in the overall standings for Frank over Templeman. But John Crow just lopped a whole second off the margin to his teammate in Morn Van Tock for the race win in KZ Supermasters. What could have been for the Crow Show a potential overall podium was in the works here before the way that start came unglued down at turn number 1.
And again, a lot of drivers just kind of missing out there, right? So for John Crow's stuck just all the way back in 7th. Kind of think of what could have been for the 531. That being said, though, a couple of others locked in battles. Hugh Templeman, Frank Runco, the battle for 10th. The one we were following. And here's a look back as well. That's still Vassallo, who's right there on your screen in the 508. And the difference in podiums here. In Masters, it's Musser, LaCroix, and Sanchez. They are first, second, and third on track. And then that second group with Morn Van Tock in the lead of the Supermasters at the bottom of the pylon there. John Crow in second. Osley Cheek the third is in third. And now Crow looking for moves. And he's got one. That's on Vassallo.
Oh, Frank Runco spun around at turn 10, I believe, nearly into the tire wall. And another Magic Kart will fail to finish this main event.
Yeah, 2 of them is, again, surprising to say the least here, Xander. Didn't expect that out of Runco, putting on together a good race. That being said, that's promoted a couple. The 2 DNFs, both of the Magic Karts. Runco, Machiko out. The last one in is Hugh Templeman, who's currently fighting to get himself another podium places. And there's another look. Oh, wow. Lost the tire there.
The tire nearly got into the kart ahead of him. The left rear tire headed straight for the rear bumper of Nicholas Bedard. Whoa. Well, no wonder he ends up that far over there. 3 tires, you're not going to keep one of these things facing the right direction and on the line.
A scary incident there for Runco. His race is going to end early, but here's a look at the battle for the lead in Supermasters. John Crow starting to chase down Morn Van Tock. It's going to be an all-out war here between both the VTMs for the win in the Supermasters division. You're seeing that gap starting to close. 0.8 of a second, might be a little less than that this time around. And it is closer, a lot closer. 0.2 is how better John Crow, how much better John Crow was a lap ago, and still pushing, still giving everything he's got to close down.
He's almost there to the back of Morn Van Tock. That'll be the class win up for grabs there between the 2 of them. Owsley Cheek isn't terribly far away either as we follow Fernando Sanchez in third. Now head-to-head, lap to lap. He's kind of back and forth with Kevin LaCroix as well as his teammate Juan Unagaro about a second behind him. And John Crow, another 2/10, but it's not coming down as quickly as you might have thought with how quickly he was able to close the gap up to Morn. Morn has found a bit of a rhythm further back in the KZ Supermasters class. They're running about 5th and 6th on the circuit, so here's 4th, the 3rd, then 4th. There's your overall leader, Jordan Musser, the master of the Masters division when it comes to gearbox action. He has been all but anything but beatable in this class. There's a look at Kevin LaCroix in second on the Barrichello kart, the new chassis line out of Burrell Art Factory. And over and a thank you to Rubens Barrichello and his sons Eduardo and Fernando, or Dudu and FIFO as they're more commonly known. They have had a long time working together with the Burrell Art brand. Very cool out of Ronnie Sala and the entire factory to dedicate and promote a new chassis line out of them. It's obviously the same tubes, same materials, same design as that Burrell Art in front for Jordan. But a cool look and an ode to, of course, a driver who was able to race at the highest level of all motorsport in the world. Teammates with Michael Schumacher and Rubens during his F1 era, and a phenomenal ambassador for karting as well. Greatly suited to be the namesake for this new chassis line out of Burrell Art. Now, beyond him, of course, we talked about Sanchez and Unagaro, and then 5th and 6th, they have gotten extremely close as of last time by the loop. Morn Van Tok is under pressure for the Supermasters lead from John Crow. The pair of white and mainly red RS carts for VTM Racing. The 568 of Morn Van Tok right now and the 531 of John Crow. They're just headed out of what appears to be the final turn now. There's a look at Unagaro and Sanchez, 3rd and 4th. They're still a little ways up the road, and something happened to Moore. No, John was able to get past him. So John Crow through turns 2 and 3, able to get the lead in KC Supermasters here with 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
Yeah, so here's Sanchez as he works his way out of turn number 7 and into turn number 8. But the battle for the lead in Supermasters changed. It now goes to the 531 of John Crow. Warren Van Tok in second, Tosley Cheek, that's the podium in Supermasters, the 500 number plates. And Jordan Musser and Kevin LaCroix, 1st and 2nd on the racetrack, long gone from everybody else. As we follow along, the driver in 3rd looking to race his way into the podium places, being the only non-Burrell Art PSO karting driver to be up there. And another fastest lap of the race out of Jordan Musser, a 40.231. When you look at his championship last year, it was not only impressive that he wasn't at the first round and then was able to sweep the rest of the year, but that he did it all with a back injury. Spoke to him earlier on in the weekend, and last year couldn't even lift his own kart up onto the kart stand, Xander. He said, luckily for him, it didn't affect any of his driving, but the fact that he did that and is coming back this year, spent all the winter recovering after the Super Nationals, didn't drive until about 2 weeks ago in the Dallas Metroplex area at a track that we're going to visit on our platform later on in the year, but didn't race until 2 weeks ago after Las Vegas, Nevada in November. He said he was so good to be back, feeling healthier than I have in the last year and a half, and looking to put together another championship run this year for the number 1.
We weren't able to capture as well the equal battle there, and John Crow getting by for the number 1 spot in Supermasters. That he'll get a same trophy as Jordan will for the win in that class, but there is a battle looming now beyond him. So this is 4th on the road. Further back you'll find John Crow, of course, working his way towards Nicholas Bedard, but back now 6th overall. There's a look at John Crow, the new leader in Supermasters. Morn Van Tok has had his pace begin to really fall off a cliff just back from the 531. The team owner, the captain of the VTM Racing team in the RS carts, you can see him just behind Crow, now a full 2 seconds away. Owsley Cheek is tracking him down for 2nd. So here's your leader in Supermasters, John Crow in the 531, but behind John, the next 2, Morn Van Tok and Owsley Cheek are closing together for 2nd and 3rd. Look at this. Van Tok, the last couple of laps, has been anywhere from 2 to 3 tenths slower to a half second off of what he was tracking earlier. he was able to keep things pretty good for John Crow up front until eventually Crow got the better of him, but now he's going to have to hang on for second in the division with 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Owsley Cheek just looks very comfortable at the moment here. And again, these races, we talked about this track, isn't easy to drive around in a shifter. You see a slide there out of turn number 7 from Warren. And now that's going to bring Owsley Cheek just that little bit closer as we work our way up the hill into turn number 10, up and over the bump. And Cheek is just right there with him. A car length now separates the factory kart and the RS kart here with 1 minute to go.
Owsley Cheek was the second fastest on the racetrack as John Crow works through some lap traffic. One of the back end of the Supermasters field, the Kartworks, not the Kartworks entry, sorry. I believe it might have been Templeman or Kevin Simonelli. But here in Supermasters, that'll now potentially affect this fight as they work up to the back of Simonelli. Cheek on the heels of Van Tonk in the closing stages to try and get one spot higher on the box. He's got a healthy gap back to Tim Hannon. Morn is protecting. You can see him go low there at the end of the backstretch. Owsley wants the spot away. He just can't find the confidence in the braking zone right now to have a major send, and Morn is protecting just enough to keep the thought out. Look how low he is in the last turn. He'll keep him at bay, but that'll give Owsley a bit of a run into turn number 1 right as they get up to Simonelli. And Morn barely hangs on there, a defensive line and a passing line as well. He gets through the lap traffic. 6 seconds to go. It'll be either 3 or 2 to go as they're about halfway on the other side of the racetrack. Musser's headed to the line now. And he'll make it 3 laps to go officially because there's 20 seconds that he had to spare when he got to the loop. So Musser all the way back in 4. This group, other end of the lap, they'll get to 3 to go this time by. Jordan Musser has lapped his way all the way up to 7th overall. These are the next 2, the final 2 on the lead lap, and they're going to lose a lot of time as they fight. The race leader overall might lap all the way to the top 5 as Cheek brings the fight to him, to the line, high side, low side, trying to cross up Morn, and he can't do it.
Very smart there out of Morn Van Tonk. And again, we saw moves yesterday out of turn number 15. Drivers able to kind of wash out wide and just straight shot it into turn number 1. And that's exactly what Owsley Cheek was trying to set up a lap ago, but just couldn't because Morn, again, he was just keeping it low, getting up on the gears a little bit earlier than Owsley Cheek and able to keep himself to the bottom, just making that RS kart as wide as possible. But up front, only 2 laps to go for Jordan Musser as he's working his way back to turn number 8. And this battle right here is for second in Supermasters. Owsley gonna try it again, Van Tonk to the bottom. And this is where I talked about it here. Owsley Cheek wanted to wash out wide and just go straight into turn number 1, but Morn just fading low, not giving him a lane.
Yeah, he's covering the inside, going maybe 1 gear lower, leaning on the front braking power to really slow the car down as the white flag waves for Jordan Musser. He has an impressive stat line, and we'll touch on it here in a moment. Let's see if anything else happens here. Owsley's going to give a little love tap now to Morn as he continues to slow the pace down. They're nearly 2 seconds a lap slower than the overall leader with how much Morn is blocking and defending and protecting with all his life. That provisional second place on the podium. Cheek will try to cross him up again. Here they go to the line. Still 1 more lap for them. Beyond Jordan Musser headed for home as the fight continues for second in Supermasters. Jordan Musser has won every race in 2025 he entered in, and now he's headed for home. He'll score the win in the overall class by a country mile. And the fight continues here beyond. John Crow now headed to the final couple of turns, and Cheek's got a nose down low on the last lap, and he gets it.
What a move there out of Owsley Cheek, gets himself to second. It took him a long time as Jordan Musser is burning it down just inside of turn number 10. And to the line, John Crow is a winner on Sunday in Supermasters.
And here they go. Look how much the gap opened. Morn hung on for dear life at the end, but he just could not keep that factory kart behind him for that last lap around. 23 laps in KZ Masters. Jordan Musser, picture perfect here for another day, another year, starting with the PSL karting machine on the top of the board. The one plate reigns supreme here in the other Masters division. It's a PSL 1-2 overall with Kevin LaCroix in second. And then, of course, John Crow, a bit of a bittersweet end here to the weekend. Starting on the front row overall in Masters. Could have gotten 2 pieces of hardware He ends up still as the winner in the Supermasters class to close things off.
Well, Cameron, we'll head down to you, standing by with Jordan Musser.
Jordan, you made it look so easy all weekend. Was there any struggle out there?
I'm always battling against myself. Always working hard to compare lap times to the pros under the tent. So every session, every lap's a struggle, so I'm always working hard. But man, PRG, PSL, these guys just put such an amazing package together. I just kind of drive it and work on myself all weekend. I think we're running 95% of stock setup. So really, I just focus on driving all weekend, and really, I don't set a bar of winning. I set a bar of being the best I can be, and so I'm always working towards that every lap.
Well, that session half a second faster than your pole position quali time. Talk us through how the track has progressed today.
Yeah, today's different than the rest, mainly because of the temperature. So earlier in the week, we had rubber laid down, but it was so hot it got kind of greasy. It didn't slow down, it just never got better. So this morning, now we have new tires, cool temperature, track's rubbered up, so much stickier, have to be much more precise with the steering. For us, the setup, like I said, we didn't really change much, but it kind of came closer to us as the weekend went. We knew it would kind of go this way. But yeah, so I think this morning really rewarded really smooth driving because of the grip level. It's really easy to slide, which is counterintuitive, but it's really grippy. It's really easy to slide, and you'll tear up the tires.
Well, there you guys have it from the professor himself, Jordan Musser.
A master class on display again here for the king of KZ Masters, Jordan Musser. Last year's champ now starts round one with a perfect points haul, leading every single lap from the pole, and a great way to begin the progress and the process of defending the #1 plate. More to come from Charlotte Motor Speedway here as the Swift Stars get set to go. Jordan Musser able to celebrate and do some donuts on Sunday, as is tradition here with the Stars Championship Series. Time to get things going with K.A. Jr., 34 deep. The first of the second half of our 6 main events in the morning. Swift Stars on tap at 40, K Stars at 40. 3 back-to-back full house fields, essentially, for the last of the sessions here before a short break, and then the Pro Show divisions get underway from Charlotte Motor Speedway. K Jr. yesterday saw a split of the heat races and a bit of a different story in the pre-final that'll set our grid up. Travis Pettit, Nico Katowski, they're still on the front row, but Benja Fernandez gets the best start he's had so far this weekend from third. Valentino Santillan on the outside of him. Kellen Berghofer completes the top 5, and they're already formed up. They're ready to go. 34 of them. K.A. Jr., 14 minutes plus 2 laps, put it on the board, and let's go racing from Charlotte.
Oh, drive, he gets all sideways out of turn number 2. Able to keep going, but lost a good number of spots. And up front, Pettit is clear. Katowski has their 2, 3 wide, going to the chicane here in 6 and 7.
Down the backstretch, Travis Pettit with the early lead, and look at the first 8 all clear. This group, not so much. That was a cent and a half there for the 955 around the outside, or 855 of Paxton Romero. Huge send for him. Equally Holden Myers in the mix there. Isaac Payne, all of them trying to gather all the spots they can early. Tristan Murphy the same. He gets the better of Dominic Moskalenko, and that splits up the leaders. Top 5 with a little getaway here to get this one going as they roll onto the screen here. Berghofer to Fernandez to Santillan to Katowski and Pettit. The 2 have been the class of the field over the first couple of days. Tristan Murphy, who's won this race before, now with the best spot he's had in a minute at the end of lap number 1 to try and march forward on the Ryan Perry Motorsport Tony Kart. Incident under review already from the first lap. We are sure there's going to be more signals like that coming from race control, as Nico Katowski now has Santillan pressuring, looking, and taking over second place there in turn 14. Valentino up another one.
Yeah, good move there out of Valentino. And again, you see Katowski visibly struggling here to start this one off on the brakes. The rear kick out a little bit there. A little bit of a lockup, but still continuing to go forward. Up and over the curb. He's lost even more time there. Katowski just very busy. Look at his hands there, Xander. Just, again, on the wheel throughout the chicanes. And you know, I'm not sure if TKG Barrel Art predicted maybe the weather change as good as they might have thought. Katowski, Jack Katowski that has struggled this morning. Nico struggling here now, as now Orioli looking into turn number 10 on Moskalenko. He's got it. Orioli's up another spot, up to 8th. And looking to chase down this group with Callan Berghofer, Benja Fernandez, who got shuffled back at the start of this race. And you go back to Moskalenko, who's going to get pressure from Paludo here shortly. But up front, Travis Pettit making his pace known early in this one. 43.303 to get things kicked off. Santian now the driver in second, looking for a first result, a career best result, as he's looking to chase down Pettit in the number 1.
It's already been a career high level weekend in terms of the consistency over the 3 race sessions so far, the heats and the pre-final. And now Valentino Santian in a great spot here early in the main, as is Callan Berghofer. The closest thing he's got to a home national race here in Charlotte Motor Speedway, driving for the North Carolina-based Brandon Jarsacrack Racing crew. And last time by, he just went purple. Closing in on Katowski. This will be the fight for third here. He's got a little bit of breathing room before he has to worry about any pressure, because Benja Fernandez is a couple car lengths away. Tristan Murphy further back, also trying to track forward to the leaders. He's just off the back of the drafting window from Fernandez, but he is moving, and he's got Holden Myers pushing him along.
That's that second group back to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. With Orioli, here goes Berghofer, turn 14. He's got it. Katowski's not going to fight it all too much. So Katowski now back to 4th. Look over the shoulder for the 92. Sees that Fernandez is now right behind him and closing in on the MPG Motorsports Kart Republic. The rest of the group, still Santian not making too much progress up to Pettit. He lost the 10th the last time around. Pettit starting to turn it up here, 43 flat compared to just about the 43.1 of Santian. So they work their way through. Now Berghofer going to lead Katowski, or try to lead, I should say, Katowski up to Valentino.
Yeah, Valentino has gotten well away from those two, and Travis Pettit by himself has been matching as good as you can, really, to the cars that have been working together. Granted, the leaders have been pretty spread apart. Now Santi Orioli further back. He's going to continue to mix things up. Tristan Murphy was leading from 6th onwards. He's now faded back to the 8th spot. Orioli up to 6th. Back to 7th goes Holden Myers. Isaac Payne with the fast lap, all the way back in 11th. But the cooler temps undoubtedly have letting the engines run a little better. The wind has died down a little bit versus the headwind we had in the warm-ups this morning and earlier on. You can still see the flags gusting, but there's more so a crosswind from what we can tell here along the backstretch rather than a headwind, so that's going to benefit the leader by himself to try and keep that gap or open it further back to Santian. Last time by, Valentino clicked off a little bit better than Travis. He'll beat him only by 200ths that lap. Berghofer beat them both there by about a 10th, but again, the margins are still pretty high, and Callan, of course, is starting to get a bit of the draft off the back of Valentino. But you can see there with the positions gained and lost, there's been a few movers further down the field, like Jaden Spielman up a handful of spots. Dominic Gaddis up 6 is the biggest mover forward in the top 10. On the MPG machine, he's closing into Dominic Moskalenko. He's in that 3-pack behind that group we're following. But here, up front, Callan Berghofer, Nico Katowski is starting to roll. He's held up with Berghofer since losing the 3rd spot. They're closing the gap tremendously now to Valentino. And this is going to be a very pivotal moment coming up down the backstretch, I believe, Caleb, in this KA Junior race. If Berghofer wants to go and ride the momentum, whether it's here on the backstretch or in the next couple of passing zones, he needs to hope that he hits his marks perfectly after. They don't lose too much time and Valentino gives way. Or if he's going to put his faith in Valentino Santian, that Santian's pace is going to improve a little bit because it's only matching Pettit. Let's see what the last turn looks like. Yeah, no, Berghofer 1 second. He'll take it. Katowski will follow suit. Santion back to 4th. And Callan Berghofer hunting for that maiden national win. Now is a second away and 1 spot away from it, from a kid who has won won the most in the first half of 2026, Travis Pettit.
And I tell you what here about the 892, Katowski finally kind of coming to life here. You got to think just low tire pressures for that TKG barrel art starting to come to life, starting to match the pace of Travis Pettit. He was even about a 10th better than him in matching Berghofer here. So those opening laps struggled a little bit, but now picking up the pace as we reach halfway into this main event. And Berghofer, a lap ago, he was by far the fastest on the racetrack, and they were just that much faster than Valentino, and he really had to go and not lose time to try and chase down Travis Pettit. That 2 laps ago, it was just under a second, and it's just about the same here as they continue to trek away, but Berghofer was 2/10 better than Pettit a lap ago here, Xander. He's closing in with 6.5. Time is at hand for Callan, just has to keep his composure to get himself up there and give himself a shot at a main event victory here this weekend.
I mean, with all the laps left in this race, there's still ample time, but obviously Nico Katowski thinks the time is better used with him leading the charge. He'll go to 2nd, Berghofer back to 3rd. They're still making sizable inroads. They didn't lose really anything with that pass, but it kept them from gaining any bit more on Pettit with that move in turn 14. So the gap holds at 9/10. And further on, Benja Fernandez is 1.4 seconds away. He just lost touch here with these 3 over the last few laps. He's by himself in 5th, hoping for early battling, earlier than usual. And you will probably see that here if you're a Benja Fernandez fan or rooting for the young man in 5th, because with 4 drivers arriving on the scene up to Pettit, I would be very surprised if they all then arrived and then stayed in lockstep up until the final 2 laps. If it were only one of them tracking the leader down, you could expect that, just like what we saw in Microswift, where it wasn't until the very end Bo Wyatt and Tristan Francisco began to duke it out. But this is a looming battle that will kick off much earlier in the main event for K8 Jr. 5 minutes still on the board. 2 more laps after that time expires, and that was a 2/10 blow to Pettit's lead or a full 1/10 of a second blow to Pettit's lead last time. This lap, they're really hooked up. They're closing the margin tremendously. So here you go, 8.5 tenths at the line last time by the loop for Nico Katowski to Travis Pettit. And the reigning champ has 3 drivers racing to his doorstep.
And again, you made a very good point, right? I would be surprised as well to see them kind of decide to push when they get up to Travis Pettit. They have a lot of forward momentum, still pushing away. That gap is now at just about half a second, almost 3/10 of a second quicker than the low number 1 for RPG here this weekend. The only one he pitted out of his own trailer with his dad, out of a small pop-up tent, and you see it visibly closer. Katowski, you know he's gonna wanna go as soon as he gets the rear bumper, the number 1 here. And it's getting close, the laps and the time running out here for Travis, but I'm sure he can hear them just inching closer. And if he's having to look up at the Jumbotron at all, he's gonna see that they're just right there with him and just closing in here. 2 car lengths, what's the gap now? It's even less than half a second, 3/10, 2 car lengths away from Travis Pettit.
Such a good point, Caleb, that with that big screen, the kids are able to get the full picture. Much different than most weekends where they're making moves that will catch us a bit by surprise, because we can see this third-person POV all the time, realizing whether or not it makes sense to go by someone, even if you're a little bit faster. But right now, working together has brought them to the promised land. Nico Katowski and Berghofer passed on Pettit. Travis going back to the inside for 2nd. Valentino trying to follow, he can't. And Nico Katowski to the front with 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Benja Fernandez is loving that. He'd love a little bit more of it. Still 2.5 seconds away. He's got company looming as well, because Santiago Orioli and Tristan Murphy have started to really roll together nicely.
Yeah, that was a perfect move there out of Nico Katowski, right? A lap ago, the first opportunity that he gets, On Travis Pettit he goes, and that's exactly what you need to do, right? Go through, and you saw Berghofer wanted to go by as well, and that put Pettit under further pressure, and it opened up the gap just a little bit. It's going to close in because they've been working. This might help a little bit as now Santillan going through into turn 14 on Berghofer. So Valentino now to third, Callan back to fourth, who's going to respond into turn number 1. Callan's back to third.
And that's exactly what you got to do, right? Callan Berghofer doing to Valentino what Travis did to him, and that is the moment that you've got a bit of backwards momentum, you need to throw that that dark cloud over to somebody else, or it's going to stay over you. And so Travis Pettit losing a spot, realizing you need to go back forward, because if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. He did so to Berghofer. Berghofer the same to Santillan, and it's calling them all back down. It doesn't really help much yet for Fernandez, because Travis is content to work with the driver he's been around all day Saturday in Nico Kwiatkowski. So the pressure's on Berghofer to connect the 4 back together again. Minute 40 plus 2 laps to go. And beyond with Orioli, when you look at the pace there for him to Tristan Murphy, it was a 43 flat for Santi, so they didn't make any inroads on the leaders. They or 43-1 for Santi, 43 flat for Fernandez. Fernandez losing a 10th. Orioli losing 2/10 to the lead, with Murphy pushing him along, but they're pulling away from Dominic Moskalenko, who's going to have to deal with Isaac Payne and a few more in the fight at the end of the top 10. Pettit now to the lead in turn 14.
And I was about to say, this is exactly where it gets tactical, right? With just a minute to go, they're gonna be fighting. Travis is not gonna defend, but again, they're starting to plan those moves, and you see it there. Pettit kind of showing his hand. He wants to be in control at the end of this race. He was very good at defending yesterday. We saw it in heat race number 2 when he was able to take the win over Nico. So now, again, they're probably gonna get 3 laps when they cross the line this time by, and it's really any of these four games. You talk about Callan, who's been there, right? That move brought him right back into play. He closed down the last little bit of the gap. Valentino's there as well, who's hungry for that first win. First podium even in the junior ranks. I think the same for Callan here this weekend. So they have to plan these moves out perfectly with 3 laps to go this time by.
And again, we know it's 3 laps because they won't get a lap within 20 seconds on the clock. They all just put in their personal bests or had gotten really close to it last time by the timing loop. The leaders opening the gap back up. The one pass Pettit made gave a 10th to Fernandez. That lap took 3/10 back the other way, and it goes up to 2.8 seconds. And more importantly, Benja's now in the danger of giving draft back to Orioli and Murphy, who continue to close up to him. They were 9/10 back last lap. Another big push down the backstretch. We'll have a fight for fifth. But the top 4 headed to the double lap to go signal from the Track System North America board. Travis Pettit in his first race with a 1 plate in the junior classes. Nico Kwiatkowski right behind him, having a phenomenal weekend here in both divisions at Charlotte. Callan Berghofer and Valentino Santillan looking for their first career national wins. Pettit beginning a little bit of defense here through turn number 7, Caleb. He's going to go way low right here, and that will now begin the frenzy.
And Valentino was the first one on the high side. Callan around the outside of turn number 8. They're 3 wide for second. Callan Berghofer is clear. What a move there for Callan. Opened up, and now Valentino's clear for third as well. As Kwiatkowski gets shuffled, they're still side by side for third. And it's going to be a mano-a-mano battle in between Callan Berghofer looking for his first on the national scene in junior against Travis Pettit, who holds the number 1. What do you have if you're in the 826? How do you catch Travis Pettit by surprise?
I don't know. Travis Pettit has won and lost in so many ways in just the last 4 months, Caleb. He has been a part of more lead pack battles than the entire rest of this group combined. Berghofer, a little bump there at the end of the backstretch as Pettit continues to cover low. Callan trying to manage the gap back to Nico. He'll cover for second here. This would still be huge for Callan Berghofer. But to the final turn, for the final time, he's looking low. He can't find a hole. Pettit will hold the lead. They'll drag race for second, maybe 3 wide. Travis Pettit and the Hurricane strikes again. Another win for the 1 plate, the reigning champ. The streak of the reigning champions now goes 3 for 4 here in our opening batch of main events. The 1 plates still good here, Caleb. And Travis Pettit ended last year in the teens, having to start dead last off one of the wildest scenarios you can imagine. You can draw up a Hollywood-level script to get the title, and a much calmer final couple of turns in comparison to score his first Stars win of the year over Katowski and Callan Berghofer on the podium. Santillan Fernandez, Orioli, Murphy, Isaac Payne with a phenomenal run, 6 spots up from 14th over Moskalenko and Holden Myers, your top 10. So there you go, 4 mains in the books, folks. Here we've got a 34 driver grid for K Junior complete. Now 40 karts ready for action in Swift Stars as Mason Brody gets set to lead them all to green. We'll be right back.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser Driver Fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm going to show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion. Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad. Coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Two more main events here coming your way for the morning rotation of sessions. And we've got a bit of a cold track, still catching a couple off guard. Dutch Westbrook, one of the two spinning out of the pit lane, but we've got everyone still fired up, so we'll get ready to go green here for Swift Stars. Yesterday, looked like what the micro Swift division looked like in 2025, Caleb, at least in the pre-final. Mason Brody had to start 23rd in both of his heat races. He charged with the top 10 in points to put himself in a great spot for the pre-final. Had a rocky start. We lost Jake Manolio with a major flip. Of course, we wish the best for Jake as he's headed back home, and we'll be looking for him back on the racetrack soon enough. But beyond that, when we got back going, the 109 just drove away from the field in a fashion we have not seen in quite some time in Swift Stars, especially when you look at how stacked the field is. Marcelo Flores and Hudson Howard start behind him with Liam Francisco on the outside of row 2. Brody Stoffel, Yusuf Audi, Bo Stowers, Dominic Nagel, Dutch Westbrook, Leonardo Tavares, your top 10. 40 deep, Swift Stars coming to green here for our 5th main event of the morning. We're underway.
and one off. That's Camila Canache off on the exit of turn number 2. Everybody 3 wide out of the chicane. Another one off. That's Liam Francisco. Francisco's off as they were headed into turn number 5. And this field still side by side all the way back into the 20s. First move up at the front. Here goes Stoffel looking for third. He's got it. And up front, Hudson Howard and Mason Brody have gotten away as Flores looks to respond.
He'll go right back to it. Turn 10, one turn later. Marcelo back to third, and the top 2 get a big gap here. Off the rip, Stoffel continues to bring the fight there for third. Good start for Dutch Westbrook after a shaky start leaving the grid. He's up to the 5th spot and looking as we put the first lap away. Big send there. Dominic Nagel, Yusuf Adi going at it at the front of the next group, and Flores will lose out again. This time Westbrook slipping by to get the 4th spot from him.
Yeah, so some changes already inside of the top 5 as we see Flores is getting shuffled through this field in that start under review. And a couple of drivers further back. Both Stowers is around in front of the field. Everybody able to escape it. Great reactionary driving out of the drivers in that field.
George Zeminski, the biggest loser in the 170 as he is the last one to get back going. Meanwhile, look at the gap. Mason Brody on willpower pulling away from Hudson Howard at the end of lap number 2. But a huge scatter in the top 10. Zeminski, Nagel. Stowers able to evade it. It was Dominic Nagel, the other Nitro Kart there in the mix. That ended up getting turned. He'll drop back. Leonardo Tavares picks up a couple. Austin Taylor is up 6. Camila Canache down a bunch, but up a handful more at the end of the top 10 from 22nd is Aiden Go. And here's a look in close at the 1-2-1 machine of Stowers, Flores, then Westbrook, then Stoffel. Last lap by, it looked like they were making a little bit of progress towards Hudson Howard, but this lap not so much. Here's another look. Dominic Nagel drops the tire, spins right in front of Yusuf Adi, who barely makes evasive action, and then George Zeminski, as soon as Yusuf bailed out and went to the gravel, right here, look at this. Dominic Nagel on the limit. Adi barely misses him, and boom, George Zeminski. He ends up helping Nagel in the wildest of ways. He points Dominic back the right direction, and he ends up facing the other way.
Wild stuff here to start this one off there for Dominic. And he's still right there. Him and Yusuf Adi still running, and they're buried in this field, but again,
but not as far back as George. Aiden Go here on the move. There's a look at him making 1, trying to make 2. Samuel Chavery says no dice there into the S's. He'll hang on in the 106, the driver from Panama in the PSL karting machine. Trying to signal for some teamwork, but Aiden Go, he is on the move. He's going to go by him again. This time it'll work in turn 1. The reason being, he is the biggest mover. He's one of the fastest go-karts and has been through the weekend. That'll be 15 spots and counting for the 198 or 197 of Aiden Go on the Paralympic.
And I was going to say, I really don't blame the 97 for working his way through this field like he is. You look back to yesterday, turn number 7, going up the chicane. Again, a mechanical failure, right? Just forgot to tighten up. The left rear flies off. He spins in front of the field. And, you know, that put him on the back foot. And now in this main event, having to work his way through. It's showing, right? The pace was there yesterday as one going around here. That's the 178 towards the back of the field. And that's Bobby Noe there going around.
For a minute, still going at it here. Yusuf Adi, after getting shuffled to the midfield, it is a hornet's nest. That is Flynn Fallon in the middle, one of the Velocity Sodies. Another one there, Thomas Pertelt, I believe, in the 196, now sandwiching him. Then he's got one of the Paralympic entries right behind. Looks to be Colton Brock. Slate Harrell is somewhere amongst this mess here as Pertelt makes the move. And Audi slips back a little bit more. His teammates also slipping back into the clutches of Brody Stoffel, by the way. Hudson Howard in second. Slate Harrell in the wall. That's where he was. The Nitro Kart and the 117 Comp Kart machine colliding. Of Ryan Hall. But up front, Brody Stoffel and Dutch Westbrook are working together. They have gotten back past Hudson Howard.
Yeah, good way for them to work their way through this field. Now in a second and third respectively for 2 drivers out of the state of Texas. Looking to chase down Mason Brody, who has been just very, very fast all year long. Been up there at the front, I think more weekends than not. This one was one of the ones not, if you will. And even then managed to get himself up to the front as this pre-final, or as the pre-final yesterday continued to go forward. And he drove through the field after finally starting on the top half. And the 109, working his way up to the front, isn't the fastest though in this main event. That goes to the 33 of Dutch Westbrook on the Bennick, 44.74.
And mind you, Brody Stoffel, right, teammates with Mason Brody. The downside of having that level of speed but a big tent around you is all your data is available, of course, for your teammates to be able to see, for them to try and learn from. And I'm sure it was a lengthy night Saturday, especially with the downbeat spirits of having not one but two drivers involved in major incidences in the Swift Stars pre-final, that now Brody Stoffel has begun to match the level of pace of Mason Brody and go better with help from Dutch. Further back, Yusuf Adi versus Liam Astalis. Max Santana duking it out here midway through the 40 kart field, just in the upper half. But Brody Stoffel and Dutch Westbrook, they are not going to let Mason Brody get away with this one. The pre-final, that one, there was nothing anyone could do. He simply had an unmatched level of speed in the heat of the afternoon. But it's a cooler morning. It's starting to warm up a little bit. The wind gusts still blowing across the racetrack. A vastly different setting for the main event. And at the halfway mark here, we are now 7/10 apart, less than that slightly from first to second, and the gap continues to close. They have dropped Hudson Howard as he fades into the distance there, back and forth, 1.8 seconds away from the lead. Still a comfortable margin to Marcelo Flores, who is in no man's land. And how about Aiden Go? We covered a lot of his progress, Caleb. He's up to 6th. Incredible stuff from 22nd on the board.
Yeah, great drive up this field for Aiden Go. Great recovery for the 97, and you really need results like that, right? We spoke about it this morning. It's all about just putting together a championship run. And championship runs aren't always finishing in first, but recovering in damage limitation, essentially. And this is exactly what Aiden Go needs to do. Again, you think about other competitors. Let's say later on in the year there's a DNF. That 6th place finish, if it stays like this, would be better than, you know, a complete drop of a DNF. So that being said, it's a great recovery for Aiden and everything that he's done so far this weekend. But the ultimate prize here this weekend is taking a win, and we're about to see this battle start to heat up. Gap at the line, just above 0.3 of a second here, and just about 3 car lengths. Dutch Westbrook knows it. Tactical move into turn number 10. He gets himself to second, wants to be the first one to pounce on Mason Brody.
Using Brody Stoffel to get up front, get into the draft of the race leader, and now, right as he gets there, sending a little backwards momentum for the 129 while he keeps going forward. For Dutch Westbrook, though, the important thing to note is you are outnumbered. You are 2-1 here. It didn't matter for him last week, outnumbered 4-1. Can he win 2 races in back-to-back Sunday main events? He has had a lot less go-kart staff to pass to get to this point here, and he's got a lot more time as well than last weekend, Caleb. It was a will they, won't they dance for Dutch, trying to close the margin to the leaders up until the very end. We've still got a lot of life left in this final, and if they all duke it out too much here, Hudson Howard could get a second wind and close back in. He's only 2 seconds and a little more than that away from your leaders. There he is, and Aiden Go is still somehow by himself matching the pace of the front pack. Any passes here, we'll see Aiden Go at a 5-second deficit all of a sudden be able to play spoiler. And this might be the first one. Dutch has worked his tail off to get to the front. Mason Brody hasn't seen a challenge until now. And Dutch Westbrook takes the lead. Brody Stoffel slips by. He'll move back up to second. And the early race leader finally gets reeled in by the field after lots of laps. 12 to be exact of hard work.
And it took a lot of time for everybody else to catch up. And again, Dutch really showed his hand out of turn number 7. Saw that he was setting, we saw that he was setting that move up, right? Trying to get there, wanting to be up at the front. And it's all about having control of this race in the latter half of it with 4 minutes to go. just wants to be there. At worst, he gets passed by Brody. It would be second. Mason's still there. So it could be, again, give and take in between these top three. The goal here for them, though, is to not allow anybody else like Hudson Howard or like a Marcelo Flores or even like an Aiden Go, who's as fast as he's been, to bring themselves into the mix and into this fight. But it's also tactical for the two teammates behind, in Brody Stoffel and Mason Brody. They're stalled right next to each other under Ryan Perry Motorsports. What do these two do together to try and go better than the 133? Who got the better of them last week?
Yeah, that is very recent on the mind, right? Less than 7 full days ago. And speaking of Go, Aiden Go has now gotten to 4th. He's gotten past Marcelo Flores with ease. He has tracked down the leaders still, even with making a pass another half a second. It is incredible the level that Aiden Go is hunting for. And he's gonna basically get a bit of a leapfrog off the essential lily pad of Hudson Howard to bridge the gap, because he only needs about another 1.5 seconds. He'll accelerate the closing rate by getting the draft off the back of Hudson. If he can make quick work of him, get a few more passes out of the leaders, still with so many laps to go, Aiden Go could replicate the level that Dutch Westbrook put on 7 days prior, 45 minutes up the road at Trackhouse. But he will still need the leaders to battle earlier than they are. Right now, all content, it seems, to let Dutch Westbrook lead the way and log some more laps here. Mason Brody getting some valuable intel behind the back of Brody Stoffel and Dutch Westbrook, because you don't really know, if you're Mason Brody, where you are compared to other karts going all the way back to the second heat race, right? He learned a lot, I'm sure, coming through the field, but that pre-final had him out front nearly the entire way. And it's not like the warm-up for this division was all too telling of what the track would be like and what an accurate read would be in terms of speed or comparison, even on gearing, with the crazy conditions that we had earlier. We've still got crazy conditions now with the heavy winds.
And you can just hear it through our cameras. It's not easy for these drivers to navigate, and it's almost a crosswind as they head back here into turn number 8. And now Brody waited long enough behind Stoffel, wants to get himself to 2nd. So Mason Brody now going to be the first one to try it, and Stoffel looking to go right back into turn number 10. So the two teammates going at it here. They go head to head. Mason Brody going to go right back on Stoffel. He's clear, and now the Nitro karts, they can't decide who's going to be the one in 2nd to take the fight to Dutch.
We spent the last 2 laps studying. Now, what can you apply from seeing Brody Stoffel and Dutch Westbrook, comparing their lines, their strengths and weaknesses to yours if you're Mason Brody? You've got a good bit of a gap here that'll close up on the backstretch. You really can tell the difference there of the lines with that great head-on shot. Him entering a little bit lower, trying to get underneath the rubber. The massive amount of grip built up over the couple of days. Westbrook, a much wider arc at the beginning of turn 10 as well. A real contrast to Brody's approach here to this racetrack. At the line, 20 seconds or so. That'll make this 3 laps to go, essentially, for this 3-pack up front. And further back, Hudson Howard. As the pace fades away, Aiden Go has arrived. He'll get to the bumper of the 149 here by the end of this lap and be able to challenge for that first spot off the podium. But there hasn't been enough craziness up front yet to get him to bring down that 4-second cushion to the leaders. What will turn 10 look like? What will turn 1 look like? Do we see any defending yet? We'll see a pass right here or a try at one. Mason Brody back to the lead.
Good pass out of Mason Brody. And again, you had to have seen that one coming as soon as they got into turn number 8. Now to the bottom of the racetrack for Mason Brody. Westbrook looked to set up the crossover. Not there. He's back to 2nd. Mason Brody to the bottom again. He's going to open up a little bit. Dutch Westbrook around the outside. How many times have we seen that out of the 133 this weekend? He does it again in turn number 1.
Captain America with a superhero move. Dutch Westbrook back in the lead with a lap and a half to go. Mason Brody, now you got to reset. You got to do it all over again. And Dutch won't let you have turn 10 this easily this time as they run out of the backstretch and over the bump into the corner here. Brody's still actually too far back to even get to the inside of Westbrook. as the momentum builds back up. But turn 14, he'll be close. Dutch knows it, he covers. Brody Stoffel goes wide. He'll cross up. Did he get enough of a run? Not quite to get alongside for second. Does he help his teammate here? He'll go wide. Brody looking low. Turn 1, little love tap. Westbrook a little wide, still all the same.
And Stoffel's just tiptoeing right now, waiting for these two to just come together at some point, right, and make a move. And now Mason Brody didn't have the best of exits out of turn number 4. He really has to get work here out of 7. Looking to close in. The run up to turn number 8. Mason Brody nodding his head, looking into turn number 10. That would be the first real opportunity, but Mason Brody starting to feel the pressure. Dutch Westbrook comfortable out in front. 3 corners to go here.
Final time to the big hairpin. Where do you go? Brody is too far back. Dutch Westbrook is going to double up in North Carolina. He'll win the Queen City Gambit at Swift Stars.
Undeniable hero across the last 2 weekends. What a drive for Dutch Westbrook. Up 8 spots in this main event. Wasn't easy. But again, it looked easy for the 133. This kid's going to be ecstatic when he works his way into the pits.
Great stuff. Dutch Westbrook victorious here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mason Brody ends in second. Brody Stoffel third. Hudson Howard a top 5 as Aiden Go puts on a phenomenal performance to get all the way up to P4 from 22nd on the grid.
Good drive out of Aiden. Hudson Howard with a good result, finished inside of the top 5. Marcelo Flores, Thomas Bertel for the Velocity Racing Sodi team up to 7th. Dominic Nagel recovering into 8th. But Dutch Westbrook, 2 weeks in a row, 2 wins in a row in North Carolina. He's standing by with Cameron Reed.
Dutch, this is 2 wins in a row, 2 different tracks, both in North Carolina. Tell me, how does it feel?
Very good. I mean, first one, same thing. I started in the back, came back, caught up to the RPMs, and just found my way to the front.
Who would you like to thank?
I want to thank my family at home watching, Dan, my coach, Justin, which is here, and Dave, my whole team, my mechanic Enzo and stuff.
Well, there you guys have it. Congratulations, Dutch.
And so Dutch Westbrook with the win and a big points haul there. 200 points for Dutch added on here with the day coming to a close for the Swift Stars division. He'll take his way over the scale lines, and we've got one more race still on tap. But Dutch Westbrook now will lead the provisional standings off that main event win over Mason Brody, Brody Stoffel, Hudson Howard, Marcelo Flores, and Liam Francisco. And the celebrations can begin for the Bennett crew. We'll see who gets to celebrate in a moment for KA Stars as their main event is coming up next here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. 50 plus entered the weekend, the top 40 ready to go. Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month. Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing? Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night. Come on, man. Do you have anything I can drink? Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative. Perico? Non-GMO? Gluten-free?
kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Ready for action with KA Stars, the main event of the undercard. 40 deep here. Little sizzle, big sizzle. Either way, his name's Isaac Malka, and he's been perfect. He dominated every heat. He qualified on the pole. He's ready to lead the field of green alongside Hayden Jones, Alan Isambard, Jared Clark ready to go green as well as they work their way into the tram lines looking for green. The final class here before a short break in the action. KA Stars underway.
And already Hayden Jones finding a lane down low. Malquit gonna respond, and the leaders already going at it. Hayden Jones tried it in a turn one. He got it for a second, and Isaac Malquit, a veteran move out of the youngster to retake the lead. But they're side by side all throughout this field. Henry Wheeler getting pressured from behind, and Malquit gonna go low to defend in turn number 8.
And now Hayden Jones right on him, taking the heat straight to the race leader as they stack up into turn 10 for the first time. The biggest challenge, Malquit said he was waiting for it all weekend. It's here, it's right now. Single file for the top 4. Beyond them, Colin Lloyd in 5th. Hanging on to that spot with a cavalry lined up. Perkins, McKeithen under fire from Brickley as the first lap ends.
The top 4 are nicely connected, and then further back to Colin Lloyd, who's in the 5th spot. Cash Perkins right behind him. McKeithen, Brickley, Wheeler, Resende. That's how they ended up after the opening lap here. But this change in condition has brought everybody right back into play, and it hasn't given the same gap that we saw yesterday at Isaac Malquit today on the Sunday. But an incident under review here at the start. It was hectic, not surprised. But this second group, what can they do to close down to the end of Isambard here? And now Perkins gets shuffled to the wayside there. He goes wide on the exit of turn number 14. Brickley goes to the bottom, Perkins to the high side. Everybody defending with everything they've got in this open lap. And we've been waiting all weekend long, really, to see this out of KA Stars. 12 minutes plus 2 laps. We've got a lot set to come our way here, Xander.
We do. And they were able to, again, get Isaac Malquit out of rhythm early. He's now gotten a lap to try and gain it again, but Jared Clark is pushing his teammate with everything that he's got to keep Malquit close, to keep him under pressure, to not allow him to get in the zone and pull away. And now they've gotten by him, and he's getting swarmed. Isambard sends it as well on the early favorite in KA Stars. Jones the leader to Clark now for the first time with Malquit on track. And beyond, Brickley, his group now going to get the chance to get a little draft off the back of the top qualifier. They're still about 7 deep. That goes outside the top 10 to the likes of beyond Jake Resende, even with Ryan Mort on the MPG machine.
And again, there's a replay at the pass for the lead. Up and over the curve for Hayden Jones. Just gets a little bit into the side of Isaac Malquit, and then Malquit watching out wide. Jones able to get right under him. That's how that move happened. And Clark, yeah.
Ike didn't want to let him have it. But it's what you have to do here. You have to unsettle the fastest car, and now the teammates working together as that incident, if not others, under review. No doubt race control busy here with 40 go-karts on the racetrack in back-to-back sessions. Alan Isambard now ahead of Malquit with a little gap as Ike tries to reset. And in the early going, you have to go way back to find drivers making up spots. For the most part, the full field all surviving the opening few laps and only going up and down a couple apiece. The biggest mover in the top 10 is Henry Wheeler. He's only up 3 as now McKeithen goes forward with a move on Colin Lloyd to get past the Velocity Sodi. That was back for 6th. Oh, contact in the back there. 2 together at the end of the back straightaway. 2 down here. Ryan Mort, Cash Perkins colliding. Battling for 9th and their days with an early end. A very early one here at the end of lap number 5.
And now Isaac Malquit starting to turn it up here a little bit. Fastest lap of the race, 42.861 for Ike. And again, we talked a lot about these tires, right? 2 heat races, the pre-final, and it's still that same set that they started with on the Friday in qualifying, and asking drivers, right, how much were you thinking about saving out there? And it was really an unknown because they were, one, trying to learn a little bit from Mike, where's he pushing? And speaking of Clark, he's like, look, I think I saved enough, but I also didn't want to lose that much time. So that's something to note, right, for these drivers. It's maybe not as grippy as it would have been on the Friday, or maybe even yesterday on the Saturday. But Keithan making that move stick on Adam Brickley. He's clear for 5th.
Look how much Alan Isambard rolled through turns 1, 2, and 3. You can visually see the gap just evaporating up to Jared Clark, who's lost a little bit of ground, and that'll bring the 4 together up front. When Alan Isambard won this race a couple of years ago, he was mastering the front of a 4-pack as well. It's a lot of go-karts here that you've got to play against in this high-speed chess match that is just really getting underway. Now beyond them, Adam Brickley, Christopher McKeithen, and Colin Lloyd. They've swapped 5th, moved McKeithen up another spot as he tries to close in on the top 4. A little bit more shuffling here could bring them close, but they're going to need perfect laps, picture perfect laps there out of that 3-car group, because that's what Hayden Jones is doing. He is maintaining a very consistent pace in the early going of this main event. A 42.99 his last lap. His best was the lap before at a 42.94. Oh, and Clark with a rare mistake there at the end of the back straightaway.
Yeah, couldn't really afford that. He just went a little wide there on the exit of turn number 8, got him a little sideways, and that's bringing him closer to Alan Isambard. And it's also kind of leaving Hayden Jones on his lonesome without that push that Clark was giving him. So now in the top 4, this is, again, you got to look at the resumes for those drivers in the top 4. Isambard won here 2 years ago. Jared Clark won here last year. Hayden Jones has been so competitive and probably has, I would say, some of the most laps from these top 4 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Isaac Malcolm, what he's done at this place, won here before, not in KA Senior yet, but in Junior a couple years ago. Going to know how to go around this place, and what he's done this weekend has been impressive thus far. That being said, it's anybody's game in between these top 4, and it's going to be tactical with 7 minutes to go here.
It is. It's going to be a tough battle here from start to finish in KA Stars. At the halfway mark of unofficially now here on the time clock with 2 laps extra. Looking back, Christopher McKeithen will lose another couple hundredths there to the leaders. They're 1.6 seconds and counting back. As long as it holds station up front, the gap back to 5th will continue to grow. Jake Resende now up to 8th off the contact earlier that took out Ryan Mort and Cash Perkins. Edgar Rodriguez 9th, Henry Wheeler in 10th. And we're starting to see some drivers that had to start deep in the field make up some ground, like Drew James there on the pylon. He's up to 15th. He's up double-digit positions from 25th on the grid in the MPG Motorsports Kart Republic. To the line again, another one down. Another one with Hayden Jones up front. 10 complete here in this KA Stars final.
And still no moves out of those top 4, but Christopher McKeithen is bringing his pack up to the top 4. When you look at the lap times, 42.8, he was about a 10th off, just kind of matching, give and take with just marginal what they're kind of missing to the top 4, but they're still there. One move, you know, last 5 minutes, 1 or 2 moves is all they need. This isn't going to help, though. Brickley's looking in turn number 10 for the 5th spot. He's got it and clear.
He gave Christopher McKeithen the opportunity to lead them forward a bit. They were making a little bit of ground up. They started to lose some. Now they're going to make a change. We'll see if Adam Brickley can make some inroads towards the top 4. But at this point, it's a pretty hefty margin, a little over 2 seconds. And nothing happening here in your lead pack whatsoever. They're all in lockstep, but they couldn't even really make too many moves if they wanted to, because they're all a couple of car lengths apart. They're not lined up like this, which is the only good news for Adam Brickley, Christopher McKeithen, and Colin Lloyd, is that Jared Clark has been only able to get to Hayden Jones' bumper every so often. He's on him again now, as I say that, but so is Isambard and Malkut. So a little push on the front stretch will kind of help keep the speeds up. Jones a 42.8 that time. Brickley 42.93. The lap before, 42.98 that time. Lost another 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, they're going to need help from these 4 here, but I don't think they're going to get it until the last 2 minutes, maybe the last minute plus 2 laps in this race. And for these drivers, right, Hayden Jones, it's been a couple years consecutively where he's been out here and ran. I look back to 2 years ago when he was pitted with Caleb G, just right behind us, Xander. And again, just looking for a win here. Isambard going to play spoiler, though, with Jared Clark. Alan Isambard through for second, turn 14. He's got it.
So now, the highest he's been in the overall rankings this weekend. Alan Isambard knows how to win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's moving forward at the right time. Jared Clark seemed to be struggling earlier. He was just starting to hit his stride there towards Jones in the last couple of laps, but so was Isambard, and so was Isaac Malka, who has gotten closer and closer after getting shuffled out of the lead early. The different track conditions seeming to help close the gaps in the field, top to bottom. The whole top 20 all within 2/10 of pace as Malka now gets on by Clark for third. And the charge continues.
Smart there out of Ike. I was just about to say, again, you can't be too comfortable in fourth, right? You need to start making moves, start getting yourself up there. We saw it just in the last race in the Swift Stars, how hard it was to get through for the driver in third, being Brody Stoffel, and even throughout some of the other classes, right? Berghofer back in K Jr., so on and so forth. So that was a very smart move there out of Isaac Malco to get clear on Jared Clark, get himself to third, and again, put yourself right there and just one step closer to the top two and to the race win here this weekend. Smart move out of Ike, and again, now ball in Alan Isambard's court, right? What do you do if you're in that Rocket Racing Company machine?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be leading too early in a pack like this, but Alan Isambard seems to be on a tear towards that. Brickley's group here, still 2.5 seconds away. Fast lap of the race going to Malka, turning it up at the right time. Clark in danger of losing touch of these top three as the sun begins to shine here, and we approach the afternoon rotation. Down the backstretch, another lap here with Hayden Jones still in command. He has yet to see a challenge for the lead. He'll be seeing one shortly here as Isambard pulls up to the rear bumper through turns 10 and 11. Just a matter of time before the 953 makes his first move. It'll be now. Alan Isambard with a send and a half into turn 14. New leader, Rocket Racing Company out front now to one. Malka to follow with a 1-2 punch to get to second.
Yeah, smart there. Able to get himself clear into turn number one. But Alan Isambard here in that first sector, and here specifically in this chicane, 5, 6, and 7, it looked like he just couldn't get as good of an exit as Hayden Jones. And even out of turn number 8, Hayden had a little bit of an upper hand, but Alan was really good out of 10, able to set the move up in turn 14. And that was the first real opportunity he had on that lap to go, and he did. And again, you need to do exactly that, right? Rattle Hayden Jones a little bit. Put yourself in control of this race. Now with Isaac Malquid in second, he's been waiting in fourth for a couple laps. Then in third, the first opportunity he got to go to second, he took it. And now with an opportunity to go for the lead, he's gonna wait.
But the first real opportunity for Hayden Jones is looming to get back. He took a lap here behind these two to reset. Now he's right on the heels of Malcutt. If Ike doesn't go at this point in the race, Hayden might, and it's good news for Clark. It's equally good news for Adam Brickley's group. They're now only 2.2 seconds away as Malcutt goes a little wide at the end of the backstretch. Jones is going to go here into second. Malcutt hesitated. I wouldn't say he had a golden opportunity to go by Isambard, but he didn't seem to be in a rush to do it. And Jones now is back right on the heels instantly of Allen. 38 seconds and counting, so 3 laps to go here for KA Stars. If it holds, actually it's a little bit more, it appears. So this might be 4. We'll have to find out when they come back around to the timing loop. Isambard through the chicane. Jones backing it off, trying to set up for the run on the backstretch to get a good toe. It'll bring him close. Can he do the same move 2 laps in a row?
And just looking at that second group, Adam Brickley, McKeith, and Lloyd Rosende, they haven't even passed yet. They are still just nose to tail, just hoping and praying that these 4 fight even more. Hayden Jones, turn 14, retakes the lead, not for long. Here comes Alan Isambard. Malquit looking high, looking low. What lane do you pick? He goes to the bottom, and this is a golden opportunity for Adam Brickley and company. Look at Jared Clark around the outside, looking for third. He's got it.
He'll steal that spot away from Malcutt, but having to go offline for that long opens up the gap a little bit. Jones now with the opportunity to really attack Isambard without worries of the cars behind. Brickley drawing ever closer, now under the 2-second window. As they go into turn number 10, they'll hit the 2 laps to go signal this time by. 4 drivers together, a little bit of separation, but Jared Clark with momentum on his side. At the event, he scored his first career win. He has not gone back to victory lane since. He's got a good chance to try and make it win number 2 here today. 2 to go.
Yeah, and here we go. This is it. Everybody else still pushing. Brickley, McKeithen visibly closer. Lloyd's right behind him. Resende's there with him as well. And again, it all lies on the lap of Hayden Jones. When do you go? When is it going to be? When do you make that move to retake the lead? He tried it in turn 14. Isambard quickly responded, and we've talked about it, right? 14, one of the harder places to pass. Turn 10, still waiting, still in line. But again, just not close enough to get it done. 14, does he try it again? No, he waits. Smart.
Isambard covered a little bit at the last second. He heard him coming. That's going to now make Allen vulnerable on this final lap. He'll cover low. Jones opening up a little, as is Clark, and Malkin catches Jared sleeping to get third back away. Jones washing out on a 2, puts him out of rhythm now. And into Allen's best section. Malkin's going to take advantage and go to second, but he cost himself time. Clark with the biggest run down the backstretch. Malkin drives him into the grass. He'll knock out the flags. Heavily bent rear axle destroys the side and the hopes of Jared Clark, and off he goes. Meanwhile, Allen Isambard headed for home. He won here years ago. He will become the first 2-time winner in KA Stars at the Queen City Gambit. Allen Isambard wins in Charlotte.
What a drive, and back for third. Who was it? It was close in between Adam Brickley and McKeithen. Adam Brickley gets it. He's the driver in third, and it's shades of 2024 for Allen Isambard, who takes the win as Isaac Malquit is off the racetrack, up and close to turn number 10. He's not going to close this one off. The favorite coming into the weekend, but Allen Isambard, what a return of victory lane for him. Wow.
You see Jake Resende off to the side as well. Obviously, Isambard must have lost a couple of spots at the end there, but here's a look. Provisional finishing order from KA Stars. Allen Isambard victorious in a wild one here at the end of the day, or at the end of the morning rotation, if you will. Isambard to Hayden Jones, Adam Brickley, Christopher McKeithen, Colin Lloyd, the provisional top 5. Landon Boer with a great run up the field. And further back, so many on track and won't even make it to the second page for the heartbreaking end for Jared Clark and Isaac Malkin.
Allen, a winner once again here in Charlotte. What a crazy last couple of laps. Kind of talk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was crazy. It's just, I won here 2 years ago, and I mean, I know once you get to the end, you have to be leading because it's so hard to get around someone if they're just defending. So I knew I had to get the lead. I sent a big one in the last corner twice to get the lead, and yeah.
Well, how does it feel to be a winner once again?
Yeah, it's good. Happy for all the guys. A lot of work went in this weekend. We struggled a lot in the beginning, and we finally got there.
Well, who would you like to thank?
I mean, all the guys. Hans, my mechanic, everyone from RRC, Paul for everything that he's done for me, and yeah, just all the guys on the team.
There you guys have it. Allen Isambard, your provisional winner in KA Stars.
So Allen Isambard able to get the win 2024 and now provisionally 2026. An impressive performance to say the least here. We knew that it was crazy. It was going to get crazy. Right here is where it all really came undone. And that first impact destroys the left side of Jared Clark's BJR machine.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom there, in between the two, and Hayden Jones just able to kind of cross them both up and steal second. Then McKeithen emerged in third, actually. And it didn't stick, sadly, for him, as Brickley was able to steal it. And there's a look down trackside with Isaac Malquit on a weekend of what could have been for the 970.
So much promise. That first big win's coming soon for Ike and the Mike Doty Racing crew. But a great weekend ender for Alan Isambard with that main event win and all the chaos that came undone in the final few stages of the main event. He ends up as the points leader, getting ready to head out of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hayden Jones, in the craziness of the final few laps, ends up second in the points. And what a day here we have had, and what a day we will still have to come our way here, folks, from America's Home for Racing. As the main events will continue here in the afternoon rotation for the Stars Championship Series presented by Mazda Motorsports. Isambard on top in KA Stars with a main event win that boosts him to an 8-point lead over Hayden Jones in the standings provisionally. Christopher McKeithen into third. Adam Brickley, Colin Lloyd, Edgar Rodriguez, Landon Boer, Jordan Klein, Chris Harrower, and Lucas Theck. And on that last lap with all the craziness, Jared Clark will exit Charlotte. A race that saw him score his first win last year, 17th in the standings. Malkut, 15th in the provisional championship standings with the first main event in the books. Again, this is as they finished on the racetrack. There were a lot of incidents under review, so it could change. But Alan Isambard, from deflation on Saturday afternoon, Caleb, to the points leader and main event winner here after the dust settles in round one.
And it shows you it's important to keep a level head, right? When you're presented with challenges, when you're presented with adversity, and just coming through all that and able to kind of, you know, put everything back together, get with the team, work together, and get yourself back up to the top where you know you can be, was a good result for the 953. And it's a great result for the Rocket Racing Company to get back to victory lane.
Got about 30 minutes here on the clock, folks, for a quick break in the action and a quick break for the hardworking crew, helping bring all of the coverage to you and all the racing action to you from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Be back at the top of the hour, 12:50 actually, just shy of that, with the OKNJ main event for our final three races here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. OKN Stars to follow and Pro Stars to close out the afternoon with podium ceremonies locally here to follow from America's Home for Racing. We'll see you then.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsport Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCarrot.com. At ShopPayCarrot.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCarrot.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America. Use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser Driver Fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm gonna show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion. Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad. Coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real